You know, George, my kids told me that the harmonizing that I do is, quote, cringe. And that hurt my feelings a little because I think it adds a nice layer to the intro.
I like it.
Yeah,
I agree. I like it too.
Okay, well, then you know what? I'm not listening to my 10-year-olds in this case.
Yeah, I mean they're 10. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean they mostly still think I'm cool, but they're starting to use cringe a little bit more. So I'm a little concerned.
Well, I mean they're also at that age where to them everything you do will be cringe.
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, what's up, man?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
I'm doing great. I mean, you have been on a whirlwind tour and not necessarily to the easiest spots in the country to get to.
Right.
I suppose that could be kind of mitigated.
Well, but here's the thing. I did the charter life.
Okay, so then you're fine.
Between games 5 and 6, I did the charter life.
It makes a big difference, huh?
Oh, it was nice to do the full lay down. Oh, it was so nice.
Oh, see now so we don't on the team plane. We don't have the full lay down, but we've got like the seats are huge still. So I just do the feet up on the seat on like the back of the arms.
Yeah,
this
was also a Delta plane like you guys use though, but it was 72-seater. The first 3 cabins are the full recline, and then the back is just like an expanded normal area.
Oh, okay, no, that's the ones that we usually use. Yeah. We're always in the back, so I don't have the full.
Your boy got. I mean, listen, I was in 8C, bro.
I mean, I'm happy to hear that. And look, I this is when people are like, oh man, the season, the travel's so long. I'm like, the travel's actually not bad. I just miss the family and miss the kids, and I know that's probably been a big thing for you.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm glad that you're home. You just get to see them and touch them and give them a little kiss, and then you get back to one of the best things that can happen in sports.
Game 7. We haven't had one in 9 years. 9 years. Can you believe that?
I can believe it because every year we're kind of like we're kind of before the series starts like, wow, could this be the one that goes? And frankly, nobody thought this one was going to go 7.
Nobody thought this one would go 7. I felt like I was being like nice by saying OKC in 6.
Yeah, that was kind of like respectfully to the Pacers, right? Kind of going back to round 1, the way that we originally looked at Lakers Wolves. Right? It was like, wow, the way they match up, I don't know. I think Lakers in 6 was like the respectful one. Of course, that ended up going the other way, but it does give me the respect that Indy has built upon. Every round, George, is there, and since you've been so close to it, you've had this front row seat to kind of. When a team really buys in and they stop thinking about, hey, what's my average this round because maybe I'm a free agent this year, or maybe they're going to be trade talks, and when everybody buys into the degree that Indy has, the level of intensity that they can play with on both ends is a beautiful thing to watch, really.
Yeah, no doubt. Both of these teams really, in that sense,
OKC's had that for sure.
They're kind of egoless in a lot of ways, so I think that absolutely is something that. You kind of marvel at because, to your point, it's just not the norm in the NBA. Most teams, particularly younger teams, like in OKC's case, they don't understand the pecking order usually. So, and they do, they get it, and
either they don't understand it or they don't like it.
They don't like it, right?
yeah,
because they're selfish. They want to get their numbers. They want to get paid. Young guys in general are selfish.
And and any of us that have jobs that we get paid for can understand that.
Sure.
You can always understand what the pecking order is, and how do you get higher, and how do you make more money, all of that. So it's but they found this way to kind of transcend it. And the biggest question mark I had going into that game, George, was just Halliburton, right? Like the reports and the MRI and the calf, and is he going to be 100%? And he obviously didn't look very good in Game 5. But once you started to hear the murmurs that he was good to go, then I was kind of like, all right, if he is playing and starting, Indy is not a team that lays down. They're not a team that did what Minnesota did to OKC, and they're going to fight. And there's probably a part of OKC, just like in Denver in Game 6, that thinks in the back of their mind is as great as they are and as hard as they play, we've got Game 7 at home. And you could just see that in the way. I thought after that first 8-2 run, I thought Indy settled in, and then OKC was kind of like, we're not playing quite as hard as they are, and they almost looked surprised by it.
Yeah. By the way, did you see over my shoulder here, my left shoulder?
Do
you have the YouTube up?
I do not have the YouTube up yet.
I just sent you the link.
Lindsay just sent it to me, so I will pop that up
you
for
can
next
see
segment.
it's you and me in New Orleans. That it is the picture of you and me at AD's return game.
That was what did AD have? Like 35 and something?
Yeah, I remember he had a big night, obviously.
The Lakers won by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
so
that's a picture.
You're in the room that has all you and all your TV moments there.
Well, we new house, right? So new setup. So behind me there's a shelf with those pictures. And so you made the cut, you're there.
Is Cappy there?
Cappy's not here. I got to be honest with you.
Wow.
Cappy's not here. Now, Cappy and I also don't feel like we have like a great picture together other than the promotional one they use, and that one's like too cheesy for me to put up here.
Never on the Cappy Lappy?
Yeah. What?
You've never taken a picture on the Cappy Lappy?
We have taken tons of pictures, but I just don't feel like any of them are frameable.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I have you up now, so I can see. So there's you and LeBron.
Yeah.
Yep. There's you and the in Jonesy with RJ and Burke. Is that Kawhi down in the bottom right?
Kawhi down in the bottom below McVay.
Yeah.
McVay on the other side. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then who's that in the upper right? That you're
upper
hugging?
Right, me and Levitard.
Oh, that's okay. That's Levitard.
Yeah, you're right below them. Yeah.
Is Levitard taller than I think, or
way taller? He's like 6'5".
Levitard's 6'5"?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I was you're like probably a little bit taller than me. We're close, as you can see in the picture, but Levitard, is like towering over you there.
Yeah,
I didn't realize he was that. Okay, that's a good photo.
Yeah, and then there's a Breen and Doris too here on this side. So there you go.
And then Dwayne Wade at the top. Okay.
And then Mina, right? Mina and McVay. Yeah. Kawhi
Is
down
RJ
there.
wearing his ring in your picture with him?
He's not. No, I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't think so. That's an old picture probably too. So there is that. But yeah, so Cappy not here. I mean, I don't have a frameable Cappy picture right now.
Nor is he on the show.
Right, that's true too.
Yeah.
So you know what? Like he's not. He wouldn't be up there anyway today. It would be you regardless.
So I had somehow forgotten because I earlier we've been doing a bunch of stuff at our house. So like I texted Cappy because I figured, maybe you're traveling and that's why I'm in today. And I'd forgotten, of course, Lindsay had told me. And I texted Cappy, hey, me and you today? No response. So then I thought,
where's Cappy today? Is he out of pocket?
Well, when I asked in the group chat, I said, so Cap, since you're off today, are you out of pocket?
And he just LOL'd us.
Yeah, LOL, nothing else. Nothing. No response.
Yeah.
Maybe we should call him later.
No, we don't have to call him. It's fine.
It's funny to mess with him, though.
Nah, it's fine. He's probably with Rachel, so we probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
To be
Oh,
honest.
you know what? He's in Philadelphia.
No,
that's next weekend. That's next weekend.
So we don't even know where he's at?
No, we don't.
Oh,
Because he's going there next week.
Parts
and I helped
unknown
him, yeah,
for
I helped
Cappy.
him book his hotel because he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. Parts unknown. All right. Fair
well,
enough.
so George, you said you had to fly back in part because you had to coach a game.
Right. We got basketball tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, so
we
it's
got to
basketball.
coach that.
I was wondering if it was baseball in case you were going to charge the mound and get chest to chest. With,
No, I wasn't,
somebody
like
threw a
Dave
Mateo or
Roberts did
something.
yesterday.
Okay.
So can we just have this? I know we started the discussion with Mace. I'd love to hear the audio from last night in the postgame because I thought it was great. So I think we should start with Schilt, the Padres manager, because he was the one that instigated this whole thing.
He was big mad.
Oh, man. Huge mad. Like, he was pissed. And then
After
not only was
Tatis
he
got hit, that was when he really lost it. Yeah.
So in the postgame, like, he went off. So let's hear that.
Do you want to hear the call of him getting hit first? Like the radio call of that happening first?
No, it's fine. Let Schilt just hear him.
But after a while, enough's enough. And, intentional, unintentional, the fact of the matter is it's, took exception with it. And I'm responsible for my actions, and I recognize that one of the few times that I'm going to instill myself in the game.
So that's him, and then Roberts was pissed because again he came right after Dave, and then Dave just chest bumped him because you ain't messing with no Dave, okay? Dave's a nice guy, okay, but he ain't gonna take your crap, all right? Schilt. Relax.
See the arm side miss to Iglesias, walks in a run, and then he hits Tatis with an arm side fastball. Obviously, I think anyone knows there was no intent. And I think even, Mike speaking the other day, talking about intent versus no intent. And so I think that anyone understands that there was no intent there. And even by my reaction, I didn't feel good about Tatis, a great player, good guy, getting hit. I didn't feel good about it. And so as he comes out and he's yelling at me and staring me down, that bothers me because, to be quite frank, that's the last thing I wanted. I'm taking starters out of the game and, trying to, get this game over and get this kid a couple innings. And so that's why I felt, I took that personal because I understand the game and know that I understand it doesn't feel good to get hit, but understand, again, intent versus clearly no intent.
Yeah, listen, the reality is, Trudell, that Schilt, he brought that smoke, and Dave's like, oh, you want to bring this smoke? I'm gonna show you some smoke.
I was as I was listening there, I was Googling the just the height and weight of Roberts and Mike Schilt.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten it confirmed yet for Schilt. I mean, when he was a player though, okay, and this is going way back.
Yeah.
Let's see, he was born in 1968. When he was in college, it has him listed at 5'9", 171, which is basically that's me. Okay,
yeah, but you see him now, he's a bigger dude than that. He's a little rounder than that these days.
But
he's
not
rounder.
But he's not big. But like 5. So sure, let's say he's still 5'9". Okay, we know
he's
that.
He's probably like at least 190.
Let's say he's 180, 190. But so then Roberts is listed at 5'10", 180.
Right.
Okay.
So Dave easily is another 15 or 20 from there too now. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when you're watching, like when you watch the confrontation, Schilt looks bigger, doesn't he, than Roberts? Or maybe that's just because he was angrier. I'd have to go back and look at it again. But I guess this is a long way of me asking you, and you're somebody that does have a black belt. I like to remind people that George Sedano has a black belt. How are you handicapping?
I think Roberts would whoop his ass.
You do?
Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I think Dave would take him out. Like, he came at him with all this nonsense, right? Like, I'm gonna come at you and I'm eyeing you. And Dave's like, oh, you want that? Let's see if you're about this life for real now, because now I'm really gonna touch you up and see what happens. And I love it. It
was a different type of nudge, as I said in crosstalk, from what Morales does.
Yeah, I like it. If I'm a Dodger fan. I mean, listen, I know Dave's taken a lot of grief from Dodger fans over the years, but certainly after winning a second championship, I would imagine that's gone away. But now it's like, that's our guy, because he's going out there literally ready to fight, like for real.
Well, the first part of the series that I saw that, and it was, I'm not saying that it was fake at all, because I do think that he feels that way. But the first time they hit Shohei, right, in the when he took it in the leg. And his leg is sort of.
He posted the picture on his own Instagram.
Yeah, that was funny.
His leg is sort of like LeBron's. If you ever George,
they're monsters.
It's just like it's an actual like tree trunk muscle and muscle tissue and all that kind of stuff. But Roberts, the second that happened, I kind of was looking over towards the dugout, because that's the time, right? Even if no matter what, even if you're not mad, you have to at least feign anger when somebody throws at the big guy like that. And so that started it all. But he was pretty adamant, George, and I believed him. It didn't sound like he was making it up or just doing it for the soundbite. He really, with what he was talking about with Tatis and how it was unintentional and it's the last thing that he wanted. So I believe him, but then I also get the perspective of the Padres and Schilt and all that of, okay, I don't care. You can say it's not intentional. The bottom line is our guy got hit in a rough place again. And so I get it. Like, I get it from both sides, even if I'm biased towards the Dodgers.
But
I get it.
I think Shohei handled it way better. Like, Shohei got hit, and he was like, okay. So, no, he was like, I'm good.
Probably didn't hurt him because he's Shohei.
He was like, no, it had to hit him in the back. I mean, he threw his hand. He was like, I'm good. Walked down the line. He then approached their dugout and was like totally cool about it. Shook the first baseman's hand. I love that he was a gentleman about it. Like, man, it's all good.
He's so funny because he's like, kill him with kindness. Kill him with kindness.
Well, it fits into the Bublé, the walk-up song, right? He's just classy. He's unbothered. Totally. He gets beamed. He's just kind of above. He's just above it all. And just like him, just like his talent. His talent is literally above it all, and clearly his mentality is as well.
Yeah. And by the way, I think this is great for baseball for reasons we'll discuss maybe more on the other side. And I do want to get back into kind of the NBA Finals a little bit. Yeah. But I actually think this stuff is good for baseball. But we'll touch on that in a sec. Trudell's in the house for Cappy today. Cappy out of pocket, apparently. Sedano and Kap, 710 ESPN.
And now we have a Game 7.
Sunday.
Coverage tips at 4 p.m. Who will hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy? Thunder, Pacers.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
The NBA Finals on 710 ESPN, thanks to Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. And Chumba Casino. And Pro Bowler. the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals, Sunday.
The NBA Finals on 710 ESPN.
And we're reacting to one of the biggest moments in franchise history. We have your dose of what's next for the Lakers, thanks to Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Next Gen is the official heating, plumbing, and electrical company of SoCal sports fans and is the absolute best in the biz with thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Get ready to beat the summer heat with Next Gen. For a limited time, enjoy a free whole home air cleaner with any new AC installation. Call 833-3NEXTGEN. That's 833-3NEXGEN to book your appointment. CSLB number 1011173. Next Gen, here for you now and for years to come.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. If you're ready to upgrade your driving experience, you gotta go and check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
All right, listen up. Whether you're out for a walk, hitting the gym, or just tackling your day, in this LA heat, chafing is no joke. Take my word for it. That's why you need Highlands Chafing Relief. This stuff is a game changer. Goes on like a cream, dries like a powder, and stays put even through sweat and water. No greasy mess, just all-day protection. If you've already got some chafing, Highlands soothes it fast with aloe, shea butter, and tea tree oil. Don't let chafing slow you down. Grab Highlands Chafing Relief at Walmart or Target right now.
Pacific Palms Resort, LA's Hilltop Hideaway and #1 work and play resort, provides opportunities for all travelers and locals. Enjoy restful accommodation, dine in the Red Restaurant with an expansive outside patio, or pamper yourself and relax at the spa. Hit the links at one of their 2 championship courses, the Babe and the Ike. Pacific Palms Resort is the perfect choice for a Los Angeles venue for your business meetings, weddings, and big events. Enjoy a beautiful staycation or family holiday at their Hilltop property. Book your stay at LA's #1 work and play resort today at PacificPalmsResort.com.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. LA, it's time to get real. Jacob and Ronnie, he's the real deal. Call Jacob. He's recovered hundreds of thousands of dollars where other attorneys might settle immediately for pennies. Jacob is not afraid to fight for you. Get a partner who's committed to turning your setback into a comeback. Call him at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Or visit him online at calljacob.com. Jacob's the real deal.
Call Jacob.
Summer's here, and seasonal businesses are hiring. Everything from hiking guides to surf instructors and more. Whether you're hiring for one of these roles or any other role, you need ZipRecruiter to find qualified candidates fast. ZipRecruiter's smart technology gets to work as soon as you post a job, diving in to find great matches and showing you top picks right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/sports to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports. Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This is Sedano and Kap on 710.
I'm a cocky son of a like, there's no question about that.
Sedano and Kap continues right now.
Oh, sweet child of mine. So let me see.
Hey, Trudeau, can you do this dance?
Oh, you just do a little thing.
The Axl Rose dance that he does in this song. Can you do it?
Just kind of swings. It's hard because I'm in a chair that moves like this, but
I'm trying to picture an Axl Rose dance. Like,
dude, he just kind of goes like this. He goes like side to side. It's just hard because I'm in one of these chairs that constantly
He holds
moves.
the remote and he kind of the mic, and he kind of like sways from side to side.
Yeah, he sways. He just goes.
I feel like I was always watching Slash to just kind of see if I could get a glimpse of his face behind his hair.
Gotcha. He's a good-looking man.
Slash?
Yeah, he's
Really?
handsome. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
He's a good-looking guy.
I'll defer to you on that.
I had no
Axl
idea.
Rose has not really aged well, but Slash, on the other hand.
Axl Rose has not aged well.
No,
yeah,
he is not.
He looks like your grandma.
He did a lot. He's done a lot of living.
He has done a lot of living.
You know.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in like 8th grade, and they did this like cover on Spin magazine where it's like, where has Axl Rose been? And this was before his big comeback with the guy that wore the chicken KFC bucket on his head. And it
Buckethead.
Yes, Buckethead. So there was like this whole Spin magazine about it, and I became obsessed with like Guns N' Roses in 8th grade because of it, and I hung up the pictures in my locker and stuff. And then I was just like, man, like what happened to them? What happened to him?
Yeah, he got old, and he
know.
lived a hard life.
He sure did. He disappeared for like, what, 10
Rock
years?
stars live the hardest life. I don't
Yeah.
think there's any. I mean, to me, like rock star, movie star, athlete, like in that order of like the kind of life you can live, like in just because there's just things that are readily accessible to you as a rock star that even as a movie star may not be readily available to you on a regular basis.
I feel like one profession that would age you more, perhaps in a different way, that I'm thinking of. Can you guess?
No.
What's that?
Just being a politician.
Oh, yeah, you're
I
right.
mean, yeah, you could see presidents when they go in,
Look at their
even the younger
pictures.
ones, they go in and they look like young, and then all of a sudden, within like 4 to 5 years, they look like they've aged
That's like
25
the ultimate,
years.
I'm
Yeah.
even thinking of just being like a junior, house, have a house seat or something. Just even that seems like it's a lot, especially in modern.
It's a lot of crap.
Climate.
It's crazy. My uncle, he used to be he was the mayor of his town back in Ohio, and then he ran for Congress. And I remember we were on vacation, like camping one year, and like the woman who was running against him had like people following us everywhere we went.
Attack ads.
Yeah, they were trying to like tape him, like catch him doing something unsavory. I was very
Oh, dude,
weird.
I read a
checking your
story.
records, Lindsay, in high school. Like, did you do anything that was going to show up in the?
Well, she did kick that one guy's ass.
Yeah, I got
so there was
suspended
that.
for that.
Yeah.
And I got a disorderly conduct, but then I went to like juvenile mediation and they dismissed it.
Okay, got it knocked out.
Yeah.
Dismissed
I
or
was
whatever.
16.
Yeah, I read a story once. I forgot what city it was, but there was these political opponents going, who were running an election against each other. And like the one guy said that he was at lunch at some restaurant outdoors, and all of a sudden, like literally a drone pops up in front of him.
Oh my God.
And he swore to God that it was his, his opponent or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy.
They hire all these spies and they're just trying to get dirt on you. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. At this point, good point. All right, so let's talk about why I think what happened yesterday or the last couple of days with the Padres and Dodgers is good for baseball. Less so because I don't necessarily think that the Padres are an actual Dodger rival. I think maybe the Dodgers are a rival to the Padres, but it's not really the other way around. It's certainly
kind of like in the way that most of the Western Conference teams view the Lakers.
Right. I would agree. Yeah, that's very similar actually. So, but what I would add is it's certainly getting very chippy, right? Like there's no doubt about that.
No doubt.
This is very much kind of like how it reminds me of like when the Sacramento Kings were good, right? With the Lakers. Is that fair? Like the C-Web era?
Yeah, I mean, they did meet in the playoffs last year, right? Which
because it's just a snapshot in time.
that-
so did the Lakers and Kings.
They almost beat
infamously.
them.
Yeah.
They almost beat them,
yeah,
remember?
right. They went up, right? They went up in the series, and
they
were a
started
threat.
feeling themselves, and they're still feeling themselves.
Yeah, I mean, so and to that
Oh,
right
why?
there takes it well past any kind of Laker Clipper thing because the Lakers and Clippers have never had an actual playoff matchup with big stakes. So like, yeah, it's not nothing for sure. The Dodgers can't just completely brush them off as a non thing.
Well, the Padres did win the one in 2022, the NLDS, which was that was like the brink of, oh my God, are they going to fire Dave Roberts kind of thing?
Yeah, that's it. No, good. Yeah, good call.
But don't you guys think it's interesting how they played like the Padres, then the Giants, then the Padres, and during the Giants series, they were very friendly with each other, and like Clayton Kershaw was interviewed in the dugout, and he was even like being very like cheery and complimentary.
Respectful towards them,
Buster Posey. He's like, oh yeah, Buster over there. He's getting it done, man. He's doing a great job making that trade. Good for him. They seem like they actually like don't mind each other.
I think because there just hasn't been any like actual there hasn't been a pennant. A couple of years ago there was a pennant race. I mean, you'll have to go back now. What year was that? I want to say was that 18. There was the year there was a pennant race between the two teams where the Giants actually won the division. Crazily enough, like it was one of those things where it was fairly unexpected.
And that was also the peak of like the parking lot was getting
right.
a little rough, right? And that they had to up the security and
right. There's always been that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think there is a level of respect amongst the players in this rivalry currently that there maybe wasn't previous to that, right? So 2021, I'm sorry, was the year that the Giants won the pennant, won the West, and so that was Farhan Zaidi, right, when he had gone there initially. But yeah, for me, it's one of these things where I think to myself, like, it's just a long time rivalry. It goes back to the New York days. It's not even just a California thing. Like the New York Giants and the Brooklyn Dodgers were certainly rivals back then, even within the city when there were 4 teams at one point. So, or actually, no, there were 3. It was those 3 because the Mets came later. But the reality is that it goes back a long time, Linz, is the difference. And so there is a level of respect, even though there is a level of hatred, certainly amongst the fans, to Mike's point.
Who do you think that, like, the fans, like Dodgers fans, like...
Oh, there's the Giants.
Hate
There's no
more?
question. Yeah, come on. Yeah, for sure. Because the Giants also won 3 championships in a stretch where, like, the Dodgers were obviously trying to compete to win championships at that point.
Yeah, you can't dismiss them as easily because of the championships and some of the bigger stakes.
Right. Yeah. So they won 3 championships in a stretch there where the Dodgers were their equals as far as their roster was concerned, but they were not their equals in regards to the results at the end of the year. Because I remember there was all the, who's better, Madison Bumgarner, Clayton Kershaw? Kershaw's better in the regular season. Bumgarner's better in the postseason. All that crap.
So George, you were talking about how you think this is good for baseball, and can I layer one thing in? Because I just want to check and see what the Dodgers' run differential was, and it's plus 75. It's not as much as it was last year, but they're starting to get the arms back, the bullpen's back there. Basically, like they're starting to crest, right? So the teams in first place. Just think about the markets in the NL: Dodgers, Cubs, Mets. So the three biggest markets in the AL: Yankees. Then the Tigers are kind of the central. There isn't really a big market other than the White Sox, who are disaster.
But they're like this. They're like the Clippers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not right.
Not
It's not the
even.
Cubs.
And then the Astros, and of course, Houston is a big market as well. So it's like the money. This is the thing with baseball and basketball and football that's different. Baseball is still the whole the non-salary cap thing.
Right.
Is a thing. And the big teams with the big money have been certainly right now, but even over the last several years are starting to predominate in a way that I wonder as a longer term thing. I wonder if that ever does evolve. But and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It just in the Dodgers I think have been brilliantly sort of run to get to this point, and it stands out to me. So what was your point though about the Padres
I just
being
think
involved in
fans
this?
love physicality and the fact that, like, these guys literally dislike each other, and I think fans like when teams dislike each other. I think when there's a natural, like, dislike of one another, fans get even more into it. And I actually think it brings casuals in, because when I was watching, so I flipped on SportsCenter, but when we started the show, the first thing on the show today was the Dodgers-Padres at 3 o'clock on SportsCenter.
I mean, tribalism in sports, and this is kind of because the stakes are lower than tribalism in actual real life, right? And thinking about war would be the peak of that. It is the drama when you don't actually have anybody getting hurt does make things more interesting. There's just no doubt about it. In the NBA Finals, where you're about to head back to tomorrow, if there's a little scuffle in the first quarter, people are going to tune in a little bit more closely. They're going to stand up in their seats in the arena. It's just that's part of the human condition. We can all tell when stakes are raised in a real way. And the quickest way to raise stakes in Major League Baseball is to have a star player hit. That's what happened in this series. It wasn't, and it's not just any star player, right? It's Shohei, and then it's Tatis, and you talked about the different ways that
it's called Tatis.
Tatis. So there's no doubt about it, and I was flipping around. Like my boys had a game, so I had the NBA Finals on, and I had you. I switched to the radio so that I could hear you. So I have an AirPod in, but then I start getting texts about like, it's going down at Chavez Ravine, and so I'm kind of going back and forth and trying not to miss plays.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily, it's going down, like, Shohei hit a homer. That would have been...
It's going down because it's going down.
And that's the one thing, I think, that gets you to immediately search for something on
no
Twitter
doubt.
faster even than a home run.
For sure.
I think that also, like, Machado and Tatis are both very unlikable, like, to somebody who's, like, a casual fan.
Well,
and
Machado's unlikable. You think Tatis is unlikable?
Yes. He's become unlikable. I mean, at least to me,
okay,
living out here.
let's tackle that. Let's tackle that on the other side, because I think there is a level of him that is unlikable. But I think he's fascinating to watch. Don't get me wrong. But let's get into that a little bit because I'd love to hear Lindsay's side of this and get her aspect on it. And also, Michael, I do want to, you are our resident soccer expert other than Mario Ruiz. So I want to talk to you about a little bit, a tiny bit about this FIFA Club World Cup thing that's going on. Because I don't feel like it's getting the juice that people thought it was going to get.
No, my take on this will surprise you. I'll just say that.
Oh, okay, great. I love it. So we'll get into some of that too. I do want to get into the Rams' chase of Jaylen Ramsey because apparently that's taking a turn here as well. But first, parents, you've heard us talk about it. My friends at Children's Dental Fund Zone. I know. You're thinking, oh my goodness, it's such a headache taking my kid to the dentist. But that won't be the case at Children's Dental Fund Zone because, look, as we know, choosing that dental clinic is going to be tough for the kids. I get it. But Children's Dental Fund Zone makes it easy because fun is in the name, okay? With over 23 years of experience specializing in children's dentistry, orthodontics, state-of-the-art equipment, and personal attention your kids deserve. So your kids are in good hands, okay? From preventative to routine care, dental treatments, braces, aligners, orthodontic planning, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Children's Dental Fund Zone has emergency hours for you parents out there, flexible scheduling options to ensure you get the care you need and you get free consultations, a great atmosphere, as I mentioned. And look, here's the thing. You get online booking, a referral program as well that offers special bonuses. But when you walk in with your kids to one of the 17 locations at Children's Dental Fund Zone, they're going to be like, Mom, Dad, where did you bring me? This feels like a cartoon. Like, this place is amazing. And that's what it's going to feel like. You're going to walk in to one of those 17 locations across the Southland, and you're going to feel like you're in a cartoon. So they got you covered, by the way, in all the counties, right? Got you covered in L.A. County, got you covered in Orange County, got you covered in the IE. And by the way, 3 more locations soon coming in San Bernardino and the IE. So Children's Dental Fund Zone, when you're there, they offer movies for the kids, iPads for the kids, toys for the kids in the waiting area. But as I mentioned, every station has a big screen TV with a kids movie playing on it. It's great. So, and for parents, they accept Medi-Cal, PPO, and HMO insurance plans to handle your insurance paperwork for you. Good to go. So to book your child's next appointment, visit their website, cdfzone.com. That's cdfzone.com. Children's Dental Fund Zone, or call them at 833-586-7898. That's 833-586-7898. And let them know Sedano and the folks at 710 sent you.
I'm Doug.
And I'm Damon.
And we want to buy your house.
Let Seller's Advantage show you how we can give you more.
No fees, no commissions, and no repairs. Just a fair cash offer that can close in just a few days.
Check out our Google reviews.
And call Seller's Advantage today or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Welcome to Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, where vapes are anti-aging. Because you're more likely to die younger from a stroke.
On July 20th. Participants can walk or run to support fire recovery efforts and our most vulnerable LA communities. Learn more at walkunitedla.org. See you there.
Your next Subaru is waiting for you at Subaru of Glendale. Check this out. Lease a new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Sport CVT for just $279 a month plus tax for 36 months. One at this payment. VIN S3723202. MSRP $32,189. $33.99 due at signing. Call 888-855-6434 or check out SubaruofGlendale.net. On approved Tier 1 credit through Subaru Motors Finance. No security deposit. 10,000 miles a year. Model code SRD-21.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
In 1979, the first words spoken on ESPN weren't just an announcement.
If you're a fan,
they were a sports prophecy.
What you'll see in the next minutes, hours, and days to follow.
Glad you're with us tonight.
May convince you you've gone to sports heaven. And right now, you're standing on the edge of tomorrow.
This fall, the next era of ESPN begins. Sports Forever.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Take a look at me. I feel like your fat is less visceral.
Oh, really?
The LA Afternoon Takeover rolls on right now.
All right.
I think one of the main things that you lose when Cappy's not in, and I'm as your side piece here to replace him, it does take a little more musically to really get me to kind of join into the rejoin. Like, I really have to love the song, whereas Cappy will at least pretend to love almost any song that comes back.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely loves this song for sure. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah.
I mean, you were hating on Holla Back Girl last time.
I mean, Holla Back Girl is a jam, though.
See?
Classic.
Thank you.
Look at that, Funchy.
Just trying to be honest with you guys, I don't think it's the most clever musicianship.
Oh, here we go.
That I've ever heard.
Here we go
All right,
again.
so you know what I'm going to do,
I mean, just
Trudell?
slandering her.
The next break, I'm gonna come in there and we're gonna go over the holidays, birthdays, and on this days for today, and you could pick out a song from the list. Okay,
well that sounds good. Because I'll tell you this, when we go to the beach, and a lot of the boys go to a school that's close to the beach, a lot of times like they know their friends and we'll meet out there. And I have this like igloo cooler, this Travis Matthew igloo that doubles as a boombox.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's cool.
Super, it's excellent. And so I will oftentimes then be in charge of sort of DJing around, the dads and the moms, kind of like we're hanging out, half lifeguard dutying, but still. And I'll just say that I've never for a second thought of playing Holla Back Girl. Okay? It's...
I mean, I wouldn't either.
Like, you know what?
Those people that you're with, they want to hear it.
You know what they want right now? Now, I'm not saying there aren't a couple of people that they would hear the beat, and there'd be a couple of people that would kind of start nodding and like, oh, I get it. But it's like, what was the other one that I didn't like? Was it the Ricky Martin?
Oh, yeah, you couldn't
Loca.
believe
I mean,
that
yeah,
was
you
such a
really
big
were.
hit.
It's like,
just
I get
slandering
it, but
everybody.
nobody's just waiting for me to put that on. But meanwhile, when I just put on like book one, All Eyes on Me, then I get people kind of looking over.
Right, but what we're saying is, like, if this just like randomly pops into your life, it's not like I'm playing Ricky Martin or Holla Back Girl regularly.
No, yes, if it popped up, there would be the people just be like, "Oh, I know that one."
Yeah,
that's a good song.
But
where
I
people
know
are like,
that
whoa.
one does not make it good. Like, memorable is not
the reaction
always good.
To Holla Back Girl
That's
and
all
Livin'
I'm
La
saying.
Vida Loca are always like, oh, remember that? That's a good jam.
But this is the distinction I'm trying to draw. Memorable is not always good. Memorable is
not
notable.
always, but those two are also memorable and good.
I bet you would have ripped yesterday or the day before when we had
one of the greatest songs of all time by the Beatles.
Enrique Iglesias, Just Want to Be With You, which is
no,
my
that's
favorite
like
Enrique song.
I like
Enrique,
that one.
come
That's
on,
a good song.
That is a legitimate good
Just want
song.
to be with you.
Yeah, the musicianship
So we like
on that
Enrique,
one.
but don't like Ricky.
I like. No, it's not that I hate Ricky. Just that specific song.
You couldn't believe that song was a #1 hit for so
Yeah,
long when that was
exactly.
like the entire summer and fall of that year.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like let me think. I'm trying to think
video.
okay, here's
it
another
was
example.
everywhere.
So like
the black shirt unbuttoned.
So Soldier Boy, right? Like Soldier Boy,
not a good
Soldier
song,
Boy,
though.
tell him. Like that one. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Is it a good song? Like,
No.
would I put it in my top 1,000?
No, but
hip-hop
if it
songs of
comes
all time?
on, you're like, oh yeah, I
You go,
remember Soldier
you.
Boy. Yeah.
Exactly.
I also remember LeBron dissing Soldier Boy.
That's all I'm saying. So Holla Back Girl is closer to that than it is like some of. So I prefer. There are a lot of good Gwen Stefani
Soldier Boy
songs.
and Holler Back are not.
No, but it's
no.
closer. I'm just saying, like at the top, at the peak, you got again, like Imagine by John Lennon or like Cream by Wu-Tang, right? Like to give you different genres that are at the top. But then in the middle,
How does
Holla
that make
Back
you
Girl,
want to move?
And then at the bottom is more of like the Macarena or something like that. You know.
You can't not bob your head to this,
Well, that's
on,
what
man.
the
That's a
beat.
jam.
The beat is very catchy in that way, but it's just I don't know. Maybe I'm on an island on this one. It certainly seems
I
like
think
this
you're
room.
just like I don't know, man. I think you're slandering Gwen Stefani. I got to be honest.
Mike, you know what we're gonna do today before before the day is over, I would like to look at your playlist or like your most recent.
Like your shuffle?
Yeah, like your most recent 5 songs that you. Are you an Apple guy or a Spotify guy?
Well, so here's the thing. So.
Oh no, you're a Pandora guy, aren't you?
No. I'm Spotify, but it's my wife's account. So like
so there's
some
gonna be a mixture.
her, some
right,
me,
right,
some my
I don't
kids.
buy it. You have separate profiles, you know.
Riggs right now is really into a guy named you heard of Alex Warren?
No.
So there's a song called Ordinary, and there's a song he does with Jelly Roll called look up.
Yes, I know who he is.
Yeah, look up Ordinary, Alex Warren while you're at it. But so that's it's on like a lot. It's on the current top hits, whatever. Yeah. His album just came out, and so Riggs loves him. And
Do your kids like Teddy Swims?
Like Teddy Swims.
I like him a lot.
If he comes on, he's great
He's
voice, right? Great deep voice. Like I am impressed with Teddy Swims. I probably only heard about 5 or 6 of his songs.
Yeah.
But so it's very eclectic. But I can just tell you my sweet spot is 90s hip hop, some classic rock,
of course,
and 90s alternative like Green Day, right, stuff like that. So the Beatles, the Eagles, Tupac. Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest. That's my main.
That's
rotation.
your zone. I get it.
That's my zone.
I get it. But it doesn't mean you can't get out of your zone, Mike. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, dude. Riggs knows, and he's 4.
This is depressing.
So there isn't a lot. There isn't a lot on Riggs's mind other than eating, sports.
You might want to show that kid the Wiggles or something.
Like, man,
George, do you notice this with Mateo?
So Riggs is like emo. He's like, man.
Yeah,
I wish I had
emo.
I wish I was at with my toys right now back at home.
Riggs is emo 4-year-old.
I'm just impressed with his recall. It's like right now I can't memorize lyrics real fast. I have a lot. I'm thinking about 401k and taxes and the Lakers 15th roster spot, all that. Riggs is only thinking about food, sports.
Good for
his
him.
iPad.
That's a great
and
life.
This guy,
and
Teddy Warren.
memorizing lyrics and one. He can listen to a song twice and he knows all the lyrics.
Good for him.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Let's get back to what we were going to talk about here in a second. I want to hear why Lindsay thinks Tatis is unlikable and why Mike thinks he may not be. So let's get into that. Dodgers-Padres obviously getting a little frisky with each other. We'll get into the NBA Finals. I want to get into Jaylen Ramsey and the latest turn with the Rams potentially. So we'll get to all that coming up. Trudell's in the house for Cappy 710 ESPN.
But first, want to play in ESPN LA's second annual listeners game? Visit ESPNLA.com for your chance to secure a roster spot. Don't miss the chance to play for Team Travis or Team DeMarco. Visit ESPNLA.com today. Thanks to the law offices of Joseph S. Normand.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. And now we have a Game 7.
Sunday.
Coverage tips at 4 p.m. Who will hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy? Thunder, Pacers.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
The NBA Finals on 710 ESPN, thanks to Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. And Chumba Casino. And Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Sunday.
The NBA Finals on 710 ESPN.
Next Gen is the official AC, heating, plumbing, and electrical company of SoCal sports fans. And for a limited time, Next Gen is offering $500 off any whole home water purification system. You may not know it, but our water here in SoCal contains pesticides, lead, forever chemicals, chlorine, and more. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. CSLB number 1011173. Next Gen, here for you now and for years to come.
NEXGEN. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN.
Is it time to sell your home? Maybe you want to downsize. Maybe you want to move. Or maybe you inherited a home that you just don't want to hang on to. Whatever your reasons to sell, call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage has been buying homes for decades. Their seller reviews speak for themselves. They're just people who buy from people, and they'll provide you a custom solution that works for your needs. They offer and will buy with cash, and they close in days. The great part is you don't have to worry about spending any money on repairs, preparing your home to be shown, or having people come in and out. And there are no agents, just a great offer and an easy experience that will give you the peace of mind so that you can walk away happy. So if it's time to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage for a free, no-obligation offer today. 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, or visit sellersadvantage.com.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is back at the Pasadena Convention Center on June 21st and 22nd. Biggest show ever! Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 500 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it! Front Row Card Show, Pasadena Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, June 21st and 22nd, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
710 ESPN. Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
You know, is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Just the 90 minutes from wherever you are. Take it away, Linz.
Thanks, Sedano. Well, what you guys need to know is that the Drake curse has struck again because the rapper Drake, as we all know, posted on Instagram the day before yesterday, before Game 6 of the NBA Finals, that he had placed an $800,000 bet on the Thunder, or I guess it was $600,000 on them to win outright, and then $200,000 on them to win between 6 and 10 points. Obviously, they did not win, so he did not win the $1.73 million that he was hoping to win. So yeah, I guess he was trying to root on his fellow Canadian, SGA, and tagged him in the post, and then he lost. And so now, like I said, the Drake curse is alive and well. So if Drake is like putting out bets, you got to fade him every time.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you if you fading him. I mean, I felt like Kendrick faded him all last year, basically.
Sure did.
In a different way. You know.
Well, that did work out well for Kendrick. I'm in one of those spots where I like both.
Oh wait, no. Are you
gonna
give us like the runaround on that too, on Kendrick?
No, I love Kendrick, and I also loved more early Drake.
Me too. I'm a big fan of early
Drake.
Yes, same.
But like he'll still put out a good song once in a while.
I feel
Kendrick's
like
got the belt right now.
I feel like Trudell's starting to get a little Hungarian heat here from Lindsay. Like it's he's learning that she can bring the heat.
I knew that. It just hadn't been directed at me as much. But Cappy's not here, and you're remote, so it's like she's literally
I've been
looking
fighting
at me
with
right
George
now.
for 2 weeks about
I haven't been right. Yeah, I mean
about SGA. We've been fighting about this for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So.
Well, the last time she got really mad at me though was when I picked the Pacers to beat the Cavs.
I did get mad about that, but
she was actually mad about
I'm
that.
actually now rooting for the Pacers because I feel like it will make the blow a little less knowing that my Cavs lost to the champs.
I hear that.
That's fair.
They definitely gained a lot of respect though around the league for sure.
All right, that is what you need to know. Brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. That's the 90 minutes from wherever you are. All right, so real quick, Tatis.
It's called Tatis.
Thank you, Pepe. So, Lindsay, I tend to agree more with you. As much as I can compartmentalize and marvel how great a player he is, I think he is more unlikable than likable for sure. I think getting popped for PEDs always kind of puts you in a weird category. Like that, I would start with that. But beyond, I don't know if it is just beyond that or it's as simple as that. But why do you think he's unlikable?
Well, the first thing is the PEDs, because I think that he's one of those guys where he had so much hype when he signed, and like he's one of those guys that talks a lot of bleep and doesn't really help his team back it up, because if you're going to get popped for PEDs, like, I mean, they really could have used him that year. And I just think that, again, he's a loudmouth. He's one of those guys who's real fiery, which I like that, but he hasn't done anything to like back it up.
I'll first have to recuse myself just from a Dodger-Padres standpoint. Like, obviously, I understand there, right? You're not gonna if you really love the Dodgers, you're not gonna love anybody on the Padres. I'm just if I can remove myself though from wanting the Dodgers to win all the time. I like watching Tatis play. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to be pro-juicing. Okay, going back to McGuire and Bonds and the whole thing, and that's, I get that there are different types of ways to do it, and every once in a while you get a guy that was unintentional and blah blah blah. There's a difference between like actual steroids and somebody who takes the wrong thing, but that gets murky. I just like watching him play. The skill, I like the flair. I like bat flips. I think he's just sort of cool looking to watch. Like that might, from the eyes of a 10-year-old, right? My boys always kind of know when Tatis is up. So that's what I'm talking about. The other stuff, I'm not going to dispute the way that you guys described it, but I do think he's a talented and fun player to watch.
Yeah. Machado, and I like Machado because I like that, when guys have personality, and he's clearly okay being the villain. But I do think Machado for sure is unlikable, but I think he leans into it.
Well, especially from the Dodger perspective.
Oh, no doubt. But I mean in general, but certainly from the Dodger perspective.
Yeah, so like I just remember that distinctly, right? And that's where like he and Tatis are on different levels because of like the whole Machado thing and that and him going to San Diego. And I do admire leaning into the heel part of it a little bit, and he is clearly a great player. So if I had to pick which one of the two that I'd like to watch, though, I'll give me Tatis.
What did Manny Machado say? They better put out a candle?
Oh, yeah. He said that the MRI better come back clean on
There's going to be problems.
Wrist. He goes, they better light a candle. That's the most Hispanic thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Because my grandma used to light a candle all the time for stuff like that, like praying, like for prayer. So that's what that makes me think of when he said that.
Yeah, it made me think of like the movie Coco.
Right, exactly. Yes, that is a real thing.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question.
That's a great movie, by the way.
But yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how this unfolds because they're not going to play again until August. But clearly, we're going to be now laser focused in when they play again, I think, which is good for baseball, too.
Yeah, it'll give us the walk up to it like the day before and try to bring all that stuff back. But I do think that 2 months in baseball is an eternity.
Oh, my God. So many things can happen.
There's literally 60 games.
But I do think
pick up right where they left off, I think.
Yeah, and I do think the division will be close.
Well, we will make sure, Lindsay, that they pick up where they let up because we will ask all of the parties about it, and we will ask Manny Machado what he thinks this time around, and even the week leading up to it. So there's no doubt, even if they wanted to kind of move on and forget, they wouldn't be able to.
Well, you know how like Tatis said that he doesn't like playing at the Dodger Stadium because he said that like Dodgers fans are part of a circus, and I'm just curious, like. I feel like Padres. I don't know. Do Dodgers fans like have a bad rap? Like, here anywhere but here. Like,
I don't know. I feel like Dodger fans. There's been plenty of chatter about like in the outfield, right? There's been fights. There's been some stuff certainly that has gone down. But I feel like honestly, like nowadays that happens pretty much anywhere there's alcohol. I feel like. I mean, especially baseball.
You see more in NFL games. I mean,
NFL for sure. Yeah. Oh my goodness, because they're getting tanked in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
It's more of an event. It's the weekend, right? You're kind of like it's your tailgating before. You're not tailgating as much, right? For baseball,
I would never take my kids to a football game. Like college, maybe a college game. They've been to a college game.
Rams and Chargers games are fine. Like I've taken the Twins a couple games over there.
Yeah,
they're fine.
Well, you're not allowed really to tailgate though at that place.
No, I didn't take him to a tailgate. I'm just saying.
Right. But I'm saying that place. There's not really like the tailgating scene that there are at other places,
like
around
in the Midwest.
The sport. Yeah.
I will say though.
Would you take him to a Vikings game?
No, I've taken him to a couple Vikings.
Do they
games.
tailgate there? I mean,
they do. Yeah, but like it's like if you have kids with you, even the drunkest idiot is not going to direct something if you're walking with like holding hands with a 10-year-old.
You'd think, yeah.
At least I've never seen even when you see the videos go around, it's very rare that you see.
It's usually adults with
in
adults,
the vicinity,
right.
and by the time if people are being that stupid, usually the responsible parents and if you've got your 10-year-old with you, you're not getting wasted unless you're a disaster, and then at least ideally your spouse is directing the kid somewhere else. So I don't feel like it's been a big deal for kids.
My first football game that my dad took me to was it was the year that Ohio State played Michigan State for the Big Ten championship.
Well, I mean, that game had to have been wild.
And it was the only game they lost that year. And I remember like being, I don't know, I probably was like 10 years old or something. And like parking over by like the frat houses and stuff. And everyone's like getting hammered like 9 a.m. on their porches, like, woo, and they're all yelling.
Yeah, dude, it's a thing.
And they were like, OH. And then my dad did the IO back, and I was like, Dad, stop. We're gonna get like, they're gonna come after us. And he's like, no, they're just college kids. And like I was afraid of them because they were just like a bunch of drunk hooligans.
I remember as a little kid, I went to a football game, and this is like, I wanted to go in and watch them like stretch and warm up and all that stuff, right? So I went in early, and they were like these two dudes like legit getting into a fight. I'm talking about like 2 hours before the game. And I remember that thing vividly. There was one guy below, one guy above, like, in a row above and below. And the guy from below grabbed the guy from above and just like rammed him. It was like whack. And then like blood splattered everywhere. I'm like, that's a memory you don't forget as a child. How old were you? Oh man, I had to have been like 9 or 10.
A Buffalo tailgate looks fun. They put people through
the
tables.
Bills fans get into it for sure.
People through tables and stuff.
Yeah, they do get into it. Yeah. It look, I would take I've taken my kids to like a club level experience, right? But I don't know, man. Like it's
not drinking in the parking lot.
One thing I was thinking about for when they eventually play again, in just like from an Otani standpoint, of thinking of how smart he is. Hasn't he just kind of taken any steam out of them hitting him though? Because he's just like, yeah, okay, I'll go to first base. Like,
it's all good. Bring it. Yeah.
As opposed to like, oh, this is a way we're going to rattle him. We're going to rattle the Dodgers. Like clearly it doesn't work on him. So it's not going to work on Mookie Betts. It's not going to work on Freddie Freeman. So that's the one thing. I don't know if I'm trying to think of the most fiery personality. Probably Kike, but he doesn't even play every day.
Right.
So it's a very
Will Smith has talked a lot of crap, hasn't he?
Willie Dills?
I mean, I don't
hasn't
know.
he? Like, I feel like over the past year, he's kind of like broken out of his shell a little. Willie Dills.
I guess he'll say some stuff, but still, like, just when you watch him play, though, he's still think he's very, very, very calm, very under control.
He's pretty like down to earth.
Oh, my home run ball went foul. That's fine. Let's hit another one. On the next pitch.
Mookie, when they had like the benches clearing happen, Mookie and Tatis were going at it, and like people shared this clip where it was kind of zoomed in on Tatis yelling at Mookie, and whatever he said to him, Mookie's eyes got all big, and he was just like, "Whoa!" Like I would love to know what he said.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Maybe Alden Gonzalez knows it. Is he going to join us at some point? You said?
Yes, I'm going to text him at 5 and get a time from him.
Okay, cool. So he's been there for all those games. ESPN's Alden Gonzalez, but before that. Coming up next, let's get into this Rams thing. I want to get into something LeBron said, too, about ring culture and then the NBA Finals. So we'll get into all that stuff coming up here over the next couple of segments. Stick around. Trudell's in the house for Cappy, 710 ESPN.
But first, ESPN LA 710 and Children's Dental Fun Zone present the T-Ball Tee-Off, part of ESPN LA's 4th annual All-Star Friday night, July 11th at the West Covina Sportsplex. Kids ages 7 to 12 can swing big and be part of the All-Star action. Sign up now at ESPNLA.com. Click on the T-Ball Tee-Off card for your designated age group. Children's Dental Fun Zone. Sparkling smiles, happy kids.
We may get some news today.
If it breaks,
it'll be one of the biggest stories.
It'll be the biggest story of 2025.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, if it breaks.
The Bus family is passing the Showtime torch.
And, with Mark Walter as our owner and everything that's backing with what he did to the Dodgers, I'm all for turning the Lakers into an evil empire. I'm down for that.
The home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Hey guys, you feel it? The days are getting longer, the sun is getting warmer. Looks like our SoCal summer is here. And here in California, we are all about choosing chill. From hitting the beach to the best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams, one thing really ties it all together: enjoying an icy cold Coors Light with great friends. Pick up icy cold Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly and cheers with icy cold Coors Light.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, we're a nationally recognized leader in pediatric care, honored by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best in the country. Here, we achieve amazing breakthroughs that change lives. From groundbreaking cancer therapies that offer new hope to young patients, to advanced heart procedures that save lives, we partner with families to conquer challenges and achieve extraordinary outcomes. Choose the best care for your child at chla.org.
Do you know a high school senior who's a true all-star on the field, in the classroom, and in the community? ESPN LA, along with Rotolo Chevrolet and Capozio Buick GMC, is proud to present the All-Star Student Program. We're honoring 5 incredible seniors with a $500 scholarship and an exclusive VIP experience at ESPN LA's All-Star Friday night. Nominate your standout student today at ESPNLA.com. ESPN LA All-Star Student, brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the West region once again. Come see what all the fun is about.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway, it's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GGR 001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Purple Wave Auction remains the trusted leader in online equipment auctions. What makes the difference is you. You are part of our growing global community that continues to trust Purple Wave with the equipment that builds and feeds America. This trust placed in us by our community, from construction to ag producers and fleet drivers, brings great equipment opportunities to their next owners. Join the Purple Wave community today. purplewave.com.
The Black Hand of 710. Sedano.
Jesus. Oh, Mario Ruiz, yo.
Trudell, what do you think about this one?
Banger.
Right.
Just came out today.
Come on now.
Love that Mario Ruiz.
So is this the first time it's being played on 710, or was it played earlier?
Unless Jorge played it on the morning show, this is the first time.
All right, there we go. Shout out to our guy
Mason in
Mario
Ireland didn't break it?
We didn't. I was saving it for the show.
Okay.
Look at that. Because Brian knows. He knows. I bet you would have played this on Mason in Ireland. He would have been like, hey, who's this? This sounds great.
Bring a bucket and a mop.
This is definitely a better jam than Holla Back Girl.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
We got to play the new Will Smith song that we played yesterday
oh
on the show.
yeah, you didn't hear it either.
You guys got to
George.
critique that one.
Getting Jiggy With It remix?
No,
He's come out with a new album and dropped a new
Willie
single
Styles?
and video.
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, we can do that in a moment.
We can do it
Brian,
at Radio Tinder time.
by the way, Brian Cohen is in the house today for DeAndre. Thank you, Brian, for
thank you.
sitting in today.
Okay, wait, Brian.
He's out winning money in Vegas.
Brian, who's
DeAndre.
this? Will Smith don't have to cuss to sell records, but I do. So bleep him and bleep you too. Who's that?
No clue.
It's Eminem.
Okay,
Oh,
Lindsay's
I
on
have
it.
no clue.
Lindsay's on it.
Yeah, Lindsay's on it.
Okay.
Listen, Brian's only focused on being a Hoover at third base for this softball game in a couple weeks, okay?
That's right.
You know,
Wanna?
I worked with Travis for the first time ever, which
Oh,
was a
I heard he
surprise.
begged you to be on their team.
And he was working me pretty hard. I told him I have officially accepted the spot to sit next to Michael and call the game alongside
Right.
Morales.
Yeah.
But, Travis was really lobbying, and I said, well, look, usually I play shortstop. Speaking of Mario Ruiz, he's like, well, that's our one spot that we're comfortable with on our team. And it sounds like, Sedano, you probably won't be there.
Oh,
no,
you
I am
will.
going to be there. I am.
Oh, you are
I'm
going to be
make
there?
it.
Oh, I thought the worldwide leader was going to have you at
No,
the first
I'm
Summer League game.
doing a little later summer league. I'm missing the first weekend, so
Okay.
I'm doing play-by-play in the middle and then doing the end on sidelines with Dave Pash.
Okay, got it. Okay, so I mean, it's still up in the air. I don't know. Maybe I could come out of the booth and play an inning.
I think you
center
could.
or
I think you
something.
could
We'll
be
see.
like the Magic at bat. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember they were talking about that Major League Baseball was talking about like a what was it? What was it called, Lindsay? Was it was it that? Was it called the Magic at bat? Was it the Golden Baseball?
the
or whatever
golden
at bat.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Trudell can be the Golden at bat.
Yeah, and you could take anyone off the bench, out of the dugout. Well, even if it's somebody who was pitching and is on the bench, anybody at any point, and put them in.
Yeah, you
any
could be the
point, one
Golden
time.
at bat, Trudell. How about that?
Well, I was at the batting cages this morning with the boys because George, we're going to be in your hood. You're not going to be there, but they've got a tourney right on that big hill that you live on.
Yeah.
So I was going to invite you, maybe ask you to bring me one.
When
of
is
the
it?
special margaritas? Saturday morning at.
Well, Saturday
tomorrow
morning I'll be here. I'll be here tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Oh, that's
Actually,
kinda
sorry,
early.
we have to be there at 8 a.m. The game is at 9 a.m.
Damn, dog, that's early as hell.
Yeah.
Well,
game's at 9
text
a.m.
me. Maybe I'll swing through.
I'll
Mateo
text
would
you.
probably love to see it.
Yeah, I'll text you.
So there you have it. All right, so let's talk about the Rams real quick. So Jalen Ramsey, there's been a lot of chatter about bringing in Jalen Ramsey or bringing him back for that matter. But I think Sean McVay did a really good job of explaining this recently in a media availability they had while they were in Hawaii. Because there was with Jacob and Ronnie, right? And basically what he's saying is, look, Jalen Ramsey's awesome. We'd love to have him, since he's been made available. But it's not as easy as you think. Like, he makes a large salary, which he deserves. We don't necessarily have the salary cap space to make that happen cleanly. So we'd have to figure out, okay, what's the compensation like? Is it picks? We can't do that necessarily because then we still have the salary issues. Do the Dolphins want players? Are we willing to part with certain players for Jalen Ramsey? So, he just says there's a lot of moving parts to this, and it's not that they wouldn't want him because he's certainly been made available, but it's just not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
This is kind of a classic sports drill right now where there's good player, but how can that player be acquired? And the subtext to it is, hey, if you guys want to take a not so great offer, then yes, send him on down.
Sure.
So but if you're probably not going to get what you want from us given what the situation is.
Yeah, but he's not playing, right? Like, he's not showed up to any of the workouts or any of the off-season
he's not.
stuff,
No,
right?
because they've made it clear that they're going to deal him. It's just a matter of where he gets dealt. Now, I think it seems like him and the Rams would love to reunite, but again, it's a little complicated because of the salary cap and things of that nature.
Do you get Jimmy Butler vibes from Ramsey or vice versa?
Oh dear.
I'm just thinking, and this isn't a bad thing. I'm just
you
saying
mean more like mercenary for money?
Yeah, like
you know
great
what I mean?
player, but like money's got to be right, or put me in a different situation.
But here's what I would say. I think the difference is Jimmy Butler's more aloof than Jalen Ramsey, from what I gather.
I mean, it's harder to have the type of impact on a given game in the NFL if you're not a quarterback than if you're Jimmy Butler and you can be essentially the best player on a team and get just by the sheer force of your talent on both sides of the basketball. Yeah. In that case, it's a little harder.
Look, Jalen,
so he's got more leverage basically than Ramsey.
Right.
Would.
He plays a premium position though.
For sure.
He at corner. So I think that he does command a certain level of.
Yeah, he's going to get a job
of attention. Oh my God, he does a great job. So I think that, but you're going to get beat even the best guys in those scenarios just based on the way the damn rules work these days. Like it's impossible to play defense. That's why when you have one of those guys like him, that's such a great corner. You want to maximize that opportunity when you have a guy. Well, like that.
But that's kind of the point though that I'm making. Like then why does Miami not?
Because they don't feel like I guess they don't feel like they're in contention. You know what I mean? Like I think they think that they need to do kind of like one of those things where like you're competitive while you're rebuilding kind of thing. Like that seems to be their position at the moment,
which is reasonable. So they're not necessarily close enough to be wanting to give him the type of deal moving forward that he wants, and he still has value.
And he doesn't want to be there either.
Right, because they are in this kind of weird rebuild while competing phase, right? As opposed to when they got him, they thought they were close. You know what I mean? They lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs, and then they felt like, that they were close. But then last year, Tua, we saw what happened. Like, he just wasn't available very much. When he was available, they were pretty good, but he missed a ton of games. So,
as they're talking about, this is the first, and I knew we were going to get into this, so I was reading a little NFL stuff when I came in, and I'm like, I haven't turned my brain over to the NFL yet. I usually wait. I wait until the end of the NBA Finals. Like, obviously, I follow the draft, right? And I know who's who, and I know what's going on with the Vikings. But I'm saying like the deep dive. I haven't done the top 10 for fantasy. I haven't done the top 10 whose chances to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. What's the Cappy list that he does? Just the power rankings?
Yeah, he does like a power ranking
based on his own personal liking.
And he never puts the Chargers in the top 10.
Does he have a top 10 yet in his mind?
No.
You think?
Not yet. I don't believe he's unveiled.
Well, that's
one
what I'm
for
saying.
The
but it sounds like
yet.
Lindsay just implied that she already does.
No, I just mean like I miss football so much, and I'm like, I watch ESPN a lot while I'm getting ready. I see there's a lot of football talk, obviously.
Yeah,
on the
they're
Pat
already
McAfee
getting ready
show.
because mini camps are going on.
Yeah, and
like that.
me, I've got a vested interest in my weird quarterback situation, and Shador's making the news because he got 2 tickets for driving over 100 miles
I know.
an hour.
First week, you were kind of like giving him a pass for the first one. Are you giving him a pass for the second one?
No, you're right. The second one, okay, you can't have 2 in like a week.
Well,
That's too much.
My guy Jordan Addison, unfortunately, had 2.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, but just way too early Super Bowl pick, Lindsay. Go. You have 5 seconds.
Chargers.
Hey, that'd be fun.
Rams over the Ravens.
Oh, wow. Rams.
Rams? Yeah, Rams. Yeah. I think
Interesting.
Rams are going to be. Listen, dude. Nobody gave the Eagles more of a difficult time than the Rams did.
And they're arguably better than they were last year.
Agreed.
This is the year that the team of my birthplace, not where I was raised, my birthplace,
The Buffalo Bills. You think
Buffalo
go to the Super Bowl?
Bills.
I
George
think
also
their
born in
window
New
is
York.
kind of running out.
By the way,
I was born in the city, but in the same state, correct? As
yes,
you.
same
Yes.
state. Yeah, I mean the Bills just every year it's a crushing loss. It's like I don't think that the Vikings. I still need a little more J.J. McCarthy. I need to see him actually play before I can say what the Vikings are going to do. But Josh Allen, just got married, seems happy, right? The Bills are always at least in the mix. Somebody's got to beat the Chiefs this year.
I think the Chargers are going to beat the Chiefs.
Well, I think the Chiefs have an interesting situation where Kelsey's getting older. They've kind of acknowledged that. They did have both of their best receivers hurt last year, so I think they'll be better. But I just think that there's a lot of good teams now. I mean, there's only like 7 or 8 teams that stink.
Eagles
in the NFL.
didn't really get any worse, did they?
Who?
The Eagles.
No.
No. They're still
Didn't they lose one of their coordinators though? Which I don't know
yeah,
if that
I believe
matters.
so. Yeah,
They've been rotating coordinators like crazy there.
Yeah, but I mean, there's always some shuffle. But I think that the Eagles they're the betting favorite to win the NFC still. So there is that.
Yeah, they're set up pretty nicely.
Hey, coming up next, we'll do some radio Tinder, and then after that, I want to get back to the NBA, LeBron and what he said about ring culture, and KD's out there, and what the hell's going to go on with that. We'll do some ball knower talk in a little bit. We'll get back to the Dodgers a little later as well. But let me tell you, it's ESPN LA's Legends launch presented by Legends Attic. It's all part of ESPN LA's 4th annual All-Star Friday night on July 11th at the West Covina Sportsplex. Step up to the plate, take your shot in a high-energy challenge to hit as many balls as you can in 90 seconds. Bring your own bat and helmet, and bring the big swing because the spots are limited. So head to ESPNLA.com right now to reserve your spot. Step up, swing big, and be legendary.
And now we have a Game 7.
Sunday.
Coverage tips at 4 p.m. Who will hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy? Thunder, Pacers.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
The NBA Finals on 710 ESPN, thanks to Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. And Chumba Casino. And Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Sunday.
The NBA Finals on 710 ESPN.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Hey everybody, it's Cap. Are you downsizing or inheriting a home? Want to cash in on your equity? Call Sellers Advantage. They buy homes as is with no costly repairs, agents, or commissions. Get a competitive cash offer and close in days or on your timeline. Sellers Advantage has over 20 years of experience and even offers a $20,000 advance for moving expenses. Call 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your no-obligation offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Sellers Advantage.
Pacific Palms Resort, LA's Hilltop Hideaway and #1 work and play resort, provides opportunities for all travelers and locals. Enjoy restful accommodation, dine in the Red Restaurant with an expansive outside patio, or pamper yourself and relax at the spa. Hit the links at one of their 2 championship courses, the Babe and the Ike. Pacific Palms Resort is the perfect choice for a Los Angeles venue for your business meetings, weddings, and big events. Enjoy a beautiful staycation or family holiday at their Hilltop property. Book your stay at LA's #1 work and play resort today at PacificPalmsResort.com.
4th of July savings start now at Cardin Alleyway Hyundai. Lease a brand new Hyundai Elantra SCL Sport for just $219 a month for 36 months with only $34.99 due at signing. Drive with confidence backed by America's best warranty, 10 years or 100,000 miles, and Hyundai's exclusive owner assurance program. Visit us off the 91 freeway or schedule your test drive now at CardinAlleyWayHyundai.com. And SU 944151, $34.99 due at signing plus tax, license, $85 doc fee and registration. No security deposit, 10,000 miles per year. Offer expires 7/7/2025.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
And it is Sedano Kap. Around 5:30 p.m. in the Southland Radio Tinder time, we like to play a TV theme. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our sponsor, Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Take it away, producer Lindsay.
Thanks, Christopher. All right, guys. So, Radio Tinder time.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I was doing a Cappy impression.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of how he sounds?
Yeah,
That's pretty close.
Basically,
Okay, thanks.
basically.
Yeah.
So, guys, Lay's introduced a new chip flavor chosen from tens of thousands of suggestions in its annual $1 million contest. So, the one that won is bacon grilled cheese, created by Paula George from Oklahoma. She beat out more than 70,000 other submissions in the Do Us a Flavor contest, and the bacon grilled cheese flavor is going to now be sold at grocery stores nationwide. Fans voted on the contest's 3 finalists, which included the 2 runner-ups, Valentina in lime and wavy Korean-style fried chicken.
Did you say Valentina in
Yeah,
lime?
that's what it says.
Valentina, like the sauce, the hot sauce.
Valentina's hot sauce. Okay.
I didn't know what it
I
was,
didn't
so
know
I'm
that.
sorry.
That sounds good, though.
So will you guys try the bacon grilled cheese Lay's chips?
Well, George,
Can we do
you
it
know
for a
how I-
taste test Tuesday?
You know how I feel about one of the things.
I would
mentioned
totally
there.
do that. The bacon grilled cheese sounds delicious. And so does the Valentina. And then what was the other one?
Korean-style fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, come on now.
I think Korean, the fried chicken with the Korean tinge sounds the best to me. I love bacon. I will eat bacon.
Definitely the bacon.
Bacon grilled cheese.
But here's the thing. You guys, as you guys know,
Don't you eat like? Have you ever had like sour cream and cheese chips? Like those are really good.
No,
so
but-
Yeah, and you put
just
some
adding bacon
in
flavor.
there.
now.
Yeah.
you're gonna get mad at me like you did earlier in the show. about
Don't
my-
tell me, dude. You don't
No,
eat
you
those
know.
chips too just because they're cheesy
Yes,
flavored?
correct.
No way,
I don't like
bro.
cheese. Why would I
Come
like
on,
chips
man.
It's
with
so
a
weird
cheese
to like
into it?
generalize cheese and
I'll tell
all
you, no.
cheese.
I'll tell you the things that I tolerate cheese upon. I tolerate
Pizza,
cheese
we know,
on
yes.
pizza,
But not. But
as long as
that's
it's
not
not
even
too
real
much.
cheese on the chips.
And I tolerate it on Cheez-Its.
cheese flavoring.
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its
but
are still good.
I would say cheese flavored chips taste better than Cheez-Its.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I don't mind like the nacho cheese classic Dorito, but I vastly prefer the Cool Ranch Dorito. But I hate ranch as a sauce. I don't like any of the white sauces except for frosting, which isn't a sauce.
No
I
blue
love-
cheese?
No, hate blue cheese. Hate
You're-
ranch.
you're not a cheese.
hate
Blue
hor-
cheese is strong. I can understand
horseradish,
why
the
you
worst
wouldn't
of
like
all,
blue cheese.
The worst of all sauces. But I will put frosting on anything. Like if they're so
You
sometimes
put frosting
my wife
on
will,
a Cheez-It?
she'll want me to have carrots or something, and I'll be like, okay, if there's hummus, that's fine. I like hummus, but if I have frosting from something, then I'll go carrot in the frosting. Really? That is tasty.
What? Are you being serious?
Of course. Look, just think about it rationally. Frosting tastes better than hummus, which tastes better than any of the other inferior dips. So why would it not? What is the carrot is immaterial to this? Same thing with like a Ritz cracker. Like I like a Ritz cracker with peanut butter and jelly. That's good if you split them up and you can kind of combine them. But if there's frosting there, the frosting is going to taste better. Just telling you guys how it
That's
is.
just weird, bro.
Okay.
Are your kids as picky eaters as you are?
I'm not. That's the thing. George has been to several meals with me. I'm not that picky. I just don't like the cheese. Like
sound like you have a lot of
Thai food.
contingency.
Well,
I
you don't
love
like
spicy
shrimp either.
food.
You don't like seafood.
No, I don't like seafood, shrimp, and cheese. I like
That's
most
kind
other
of a
things.
big deal. Seafood and cheese are like
I mean,
two
seafood
different
is a
food
pretty
groups.
large category.
Yeah,
to
so is
Lindsay's point.
cheese.
Okay,
Yeah.
funky.
And cheese too. There's a lot of things with cheese. That's
Here-
an excellent point.
No, well here's some
I would
of the.
say more than half of like U.S. dishes
but
have
there's
cheese
some
in them.
there's some great whole categories of food that don't rely
Wait,
upon
so let me
cheese.
ask you this.
For example, hold on.
Hold on, wait. Hold on.
Indian food, Thai food.
Sure, agreed. Yeah,
don't need any cheese for
agreed.
that. I love
but
almost.
How about
all...
Italian food?
Well, it's
Can't
again.
have that without cheese.
No, of course you can.
Yeah, do you like? How about a chicken parm?
Right?
No, I go chicken marinara. Just take off the parm.
Wow.
Yeah. And like so rigatoni marinara, right? Like that's one of my staples. And of
Or
course
like
you
a
get the
bolognese.
you get the chopped salad.
No,
yeah,
no,
the
no
bolognese,
fresh parm
the meat
on it?
pasta. I mean the parm is fine. Parm doesn't ruin.
So the powdered cheese is okay?
It's okay. I don't.
The
I don't
powdered
need
cheese
it.
is like what they put on chips, kind of.
Right.
Yeah, that stuff's fine. It's like that's more like it's almost like salt in a way. Like it's not. It's just
Cheese
kind of
flavored salt is what
That's
it is,
fine.
basically.
But so Mexican. I like almost every ingredient that you could put into a burrito.
What about like
except for cheese.
nachos?
No, same thing. What I would do instead of nachos, I would just have the chips with like
Yeah,
a
but
meat.
wait, the nacho cheese, if it's like melted cheese, like shredded melted cheese, is no different than pizza.
So like at the arena, George, right? I'll go and they get the chips. They have to warm them up. You know what I'm saying? They have like a chip warmer. So a lot of people will put the cheese on. I will take the warm chips and then I will just put the chili
I don't
sauce
like
on
I don't
chili
like
on
cheese
top of it.
whiz.
I don't
like
either.
that.
Like the cheese sauce on the nachos.
I like
no.
real
cheese
nacho
melted
Yeah,
on it.
you gotta
Yeah.
shred the
Any
cheese and then melt it on
That's
top.
what I'm trying to tell you guys.
That's like pizza.
Wait, do
Same-
you go to
same
places
setup.
and order nachos and say hold the cheese?
Well, I just don't. I likely just wouldn't order the nachos because whoever the person is would get so mad. Like what?
So you've never done that?
But if I'm ordering a,
Let me ask you a question.
What's
Does
your
your
what
wife?
do you guys not get? You
I
just
feel like your
hold
wife
the cheese.
eats cheese, right?
Annie does like. Annie likes. She'll eat anything. She likes everything. She likes
I was
cheese.
just
She
gonna
likes
say,
sushi. She likes
I
fish.
specifically remember having a cheese plate and like a charcuterie plate here at the house, and she was eating with the rest of us.
Of course you do because you just like forced me at near.
Well,
I don't want to
there
say.
was 4 people. There was 4 adults, and 3 of us like cheese
I was not
and meats.
and I was not a consenting member of this, and you still made me put a tiny piece in my mouth, and it was terrible.
Oh god.
There's literally hundreds of different kinds of cheese, and so for you to just rule out cheese is just mind blowing.
Other than mozzarella, I feel like that's it. You're just
okay. It's like some of
How
it
about
tastes
fresh
worse.
mozzarella?
Some cheese, like I said, Parmesan cheese is the least offensive to me.
Wait, but what about like fresh mozzarella?
And actually, sometimes
not on pizza, just the sliced fresh mozzarella that they'll put
with the tomatoes,
like a salad or something.
Yeah. No, it's just not. It's not adding anything to the meal. To me, in my opinion.
Are you lactose intolerant?
I'm not intolerant, but I don't love it. Like, I don't think
clearly.
my stomach loves it.
What about
either.
milk? Like milk at all?
milk.
I'll do the smoothie, but I'll do the almond milk
Ice
or
cream?
the oat milk.
Oh.
Ice cream is another thing that I'll be making.
Let me ask you a question. So if
we
you
all
wanted
like ice cream.
Let's just say somebody you're out when you're boys, right? You're at a sports bar or whatever. You're having some beers. You're watching a game.
Sure, I was just with the boys' baseball team at a pizza and bar, like with a bar.
They
pizza
order
at a bar.
nachos.
Mhm.
Do you go like cheese on the side?
No, because there might be some. With every big plate of nachos, there's always a couple of virgin chips that don't have cheese on them.
So you just go that route.
I will seek
You
those
hunt
out,
those?
and then I'll kind of
And then
hunt
you
out
dip
a
the rest.
Virgin chips.
and then I'll look for a jalapeno. But what I like to have my chips, I like the guac and I like the hot salsa, like the super hot salsa, and then jalapenos. That is a much better tasting chip than just one with cheese on it. Salsa is a much better ingredient than cheese.
Okay.
It just is. It's more complicated. It's more layered. There's more things that
Basically,
go
you don't
into
like
it.
seafood or dairy, which is like two big main.
those are
food
big
groups.
categories.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's next, Lynn?
Funshy's got one.
Did you guys know that a new law passed earlier this month?
What was the law?
California's new no-touch phone law is officially in effect. Under this law, drivers are no longer allowed to physically hold or touch their phones at all, not even glance at directions or tap the navigation
Cappy's
app.
so screwed.
I'm screwed too.
Previously, California drivers could briefly touch their phones if they were mounted on a dashboard or windshield, but with the new regulation limits, they have to go completely hands-free. Only a single swipe or tap is permitted, and only when the phone is securely mounted. Anything beyond that, including holding the phone for navigation, is now illegal. So
That's ridiculous.
So let me ask you a question. What about if you have one of those, like a car, like a Tesla or something that has like literally like an iPad kind of screen, and you have
I think
to
you're fine. I
tap
think you're
that
fine with
stuff?
that. I think you're fine with that. I think if you're just
As
holding
long
your
as
phone
it's attached to the car. is
Yes,
what you're
yes.
saying.
No, well, so even more, George. Like, just you have Apple CarPlay, right?
I do. Yeah.
So that's your phone. It's
Right.
just on the screen in front of you instead of your actual phone. But you can hit your
So
messages.
where do they draw the line?
I'll go between podcasts and if I'm
You
listening
can,
to
you're
the radio
fine.
station.
I think you're fine with as long as you're not
you
holding
can
your
touch
phone.
They
Yeah.
can't get you for touching
Yes,
your
yes.
dashboard.
Oh,
But
he
if you-
said only a single swipe, and it has to be mounted.
But how many times have we picked up our phones and blah 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 and looked at it.
Hold on, Funchy,
I don't know, like a red light.
If you're at a red light and you're stopped,
Yeah.
you can pick up your phone
and swipe one swipe.
Yeah, like that's what I'm confused
Oh,
about.
so even when it's stopped, because I totally get it while you're driving.
Yeah, but you can't hold your phone and swipe. You got to have it mounted.
I did get a ticket. I got a texting ticket. So I was when I used to live up in Marina Del Rey, and I was pulling out and just like literally out of my apartment complex onto a busy street, which is like Lincoln Boulevard, right? Which is what Sepulveda turns into. Blah blah blah. And I took out my phone literally to like set the map. But a cop was sitting there at the intersection. It was like a $500 ticket.
Whoa!
And did you tell him I was doing the map?
Yes,
didn't care.
He's
a lot of money.
A, didn't care. B, now I could have gone tried to get a court date and fought, but like I did have the phone up. I'm sure they had a picture of it from the traffic signal, so I reluctantly paid it. But I'm not gonna lie. I will not take the phone out while I'm driving, especially on the freeway. But if I'm stopped, or even sometimes if it's bumper to bumper, I probably do it more than I like, and I don't feel great about it. But it's Funchy. What you just said is an important
What if some big Laker news dropped?
Ideally, I have a heads up before something like that's going to happen. But if it does, and I like have to tweet immediately, which usually I wouldn't, then I would pull over and get off or something.
I mean, there was some pretty big news this week, actually. I don't know if you recall, but
was there? Yeah. By the way, George, I have a buddy who likes to sometimes I alert him when I'm on the show. And,
right. Yeah, the one who says we don't talk enough sports. Are we talking enough sports today?
Yeah, Martin. So his I got a text. Here's the text right now.
He wants to know about the cheese situation, doesn't he?
Leela, who's stepdaughter, Leela is asking, "Is this the Food Network or ESPN?"
Whoa!
And it's a fair point. And I said, "Look, years ago, it was much more kind of just sports, but it's broadened some.
We are a personality station.
You know what I mean?
would say today we have done one segment of sports and then a segment of nonsense is the way it's gone today.
We've done more sport. Early in the show, we did a lot of Dodgers.
Oh, man, we did a lot of baseball.
We did a lot of NBA
early.
finals.
Yeah,
we've done a little bit, not a lot of Lakers. But speaking of the same guy, his daughter thinks that he should go to jail for using his phone while driving so much.
There you go. So he should also then,
why
are you using your phone there, Martin? Huh?
Put the
Back
phone
up,
down, Martin.
I have some questions because I do not have Apple CarPlay, and I have the phone mounted right next to the steering wheel.
Oh, you're in trouble now.
Don't be swiping.
That's what I want to know, because I actually live right by a police station, and so they're often near me, past me, like on my way to work.
Well, by the way, Michael, Ramona is defending you. She has just texted in and says cheese is a big inflammatory food. When you're trying to eat healthy, dairy is one of the first things that you should cut. I totally understand where Mike is coming from, and I cut dairy. And it's also what led to my most famous quote here on the station that you got, which is, I don't think I've farted in 2 months. It helps with that.
Wow, I did not know the conclusion of that, but it is a great point.
Cheese is also, though, a good healthy snack. Plain old cheese is a good healthy snack.
Yeah, there's just a lot of other snacks that taste better.
Okay, fair enough.
That's all. But
right.
Lindsay, do not. I think we all, though, and I get it. It's annoying, right? So we all want to have our phones out. We're all attached to them. I am certainly a victim of this. I probably have a higher screen time than anybody here. So I'm not saying that I'm not above this, but it is dangerous to do it. It just is. And we should do it less, and car accidents are a real thing. So put your phones down.
All right, coming up next,
public service.
Let's talk some hoops. You want to talk Lakers? You want to talk about what LeBron said the other day about the ring culture? Let's get into KD. By the way, this segment, Radio Tinder, brought to you by our friends at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR or go to the web, hernandezwholesaleflooring.net. No sale beats wholesale, homeboy. And speaking of which, let me tell you even more about this. So basically, I don't know if you've heard this story before. The crazy Hernandez brothers and I, we linked up. We're doing business. They're family. They're our family now, so that means they're part of your family. And that means they became part of Cappy's family. Well, I linked them up, so we could all be family because Cappy needed flooring. And really what happened was Rachel needed flooring. So I hooked them up. They're good to go. Cappy's getting what he needs. Rachel's getting what she needs from the crazy Hernandez brothers. So if you need new flooring in your home, your rental, or even your ADU, you need to call the crazy Hernandez brothers. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, 866-62-FLOOR, okay? Legitimately family run. You get the authentic old school TLC, actual wholesale pricing year round. Papi Hernandez started it in the 70s. You got mom working there, aunts, uncles, cousins, nephews, you name it, man. And you know what they do, as I mentioned? real wholesale pricing year-round. It's not like those big box national retail stores that pretend to give you a deal by marking up the price just to mark it down. We're not idiots. Come on. And that's why I say it, and I mean it. No sale beats wholesale, homeboy. Hardwood, laminate, tile, vinyl, carpet, you name it, they got it. Over 5 million square feet of in-stock inventory. 2 locations, Santa Ana, Commerce, both places the size of 5 freaking football fields. So when you go there, you can see the product, you can touch it, you can take it home with you on the same day. And that's huge, especially when you're trying to finish a project fast. It's why designers, contractors, builders all shop here. They all know the crazy Hernandez brothers are going to take care of you. And check this out. First responders, active military members, veterans, etc. will all receive additional discounts on top of the already low prices. And if you somehow find a better price, which I doubt, okay, Hernandez will match it, no questions asked. So head down to Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. Call them at 866-62-FLOOR. That's 866-62-FLOOR. No games, no gimmicks, just the best price in town year-round because no sale beats wholesale. Check them out on the web, hernandezwholesaleflooring.net, or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
Welcome to Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, where vapes are anti-aging. Because you're more likely to die younger from a stroke.
George. The home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Hey guys, you feel it? The days are getting longer, the sun is getting warmer. Looks like our SoCal summer is here. And you know here in California, we are all about choosing chill. From hitting the beach to the best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams, one thing really ties it all together: enjoying an icy cold Coors Light with great friends. Pick up icy cold Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly and cheers with icy cold Coors Light.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Los Angeles International Airport's People Mover trains begin rolling early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investments to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guests between their terminals and our new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, economy parking, and Kiss and Fly lot. The trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination in 10 minutes or less, and trains depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This is Sedano and Kap on 710.
I'm a cocky son of a like, there's no question about that.
Sedano and Kap continues right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Oh,
not
come
gonna
on.
criticize this song. That's a classic.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
We may have to consider a ban if that were the case.
Oh, I don't know if you'd go that far.
It's a jam.
I think that's a bluff.
It's an all-timer.
No, I think it's a bluff.
You know, DeAndre didn't know that this wasn't an original song.
Yeah, he thought like Lauryn Hill was the original.
In fairness, you could say that for about 500 songs that I thought were originals in the 90s when I was listening to hip-hop and didn't really understand what the sampling thing was all about. So that's fair. DeAndre's, how old is DeAndre?
25?
12? Yeah. I mean, he's 25.
Hold on. Mateo, what happened? What did you want to tell me that's quote-unquote so legendary? What happened?
What's up, Mateo?
This is the legendary popsicle because orange is a legendary fruit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's a good point,
I agree, Mateo.
These games in Texas, is that
Speaking of things that taste better than cheese,
The Pirates.
Popsicles. Any popsicle flavor.
Yeah.
Second inning.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, how about you wait for me out there? I'll go talk to you later. Go have your popsicle.
I love this. It's like COVID times.
Are we talking Otter
Jumping in the
Pops?
Zooms.
Otter
Yeah.
Pops?
Hey, careful when you're walking.
You know
there.
what
There's
you know
plenty
what you
of
don't
stuff. All
get?
right,
Those frozen
Mateo, you got to
ones,
go.
put it in a tube.
Oh, yeah.
You know what you don't get? You don't get cheese flavored popsicles.
No, Mateo,
Ew.
you got to go.
There's cheese flavored
I'm
ice
sure
cream,
they have
though.
some in Europe.
Because the cheese flavor is not good. You get
find you one.
mango or lime or cherry, like actual things that are tasty.
I bought watermelon
cheese.
popsicles. They're just
Yeah.
like plain, like regular fruit, no sugar added. They're delicious.
Yeah.
Hey, do we have the audio of LeBron talking about
Yes.
ring culture?
Yes.
Because that's been obviously a huge topic of discussion in all the debate shows here the last couple of days. So I wanted to make sure we get that in there. And now that my son is left with his popsicle, much easier to get back into the show. I feel like we needed to pivot so he would walk out. But anyway, let's listen to that because it has caused a stir for sure.
It's funny, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything. You sit here and you tell me, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won one ring or won two rings or one, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has one ring. They don't never discuss that in their sport.
Right.
Or telling me that Dan Marino is not the greatest slinger of all time. Or he can't be in the room with those guys because he didn't win a championship. They don't discuss those things, Jerry West, I think, went to like 9 straight NBA finals.
Right.
And,
The logo.
and was only able to win one. And he's the logo of our league.
Yeah.
So you can't sit here and tell me that, okay, well, because he only won one, the guy can't be in the same room with the guy who won 2 or 3 or 4. Like, why not? This guy, he's our logo.
Now, here's what I would say, Mike. I don't disagree with him. I do think that we do this thing where we just kind of dismiss people's individual greatness because they didn't win a championship, and that is a team accomplishment. So I agree with him. And it's funny because there's actually a video of Michael Jordan that's circulating around the internet where he's being interviewed. I don't know if it was Jim Gray or Bob Costas. It was one of those. And he's basically reiterating something very similar. He's talking about, Bill Russell, right? Like, is he better than me because he has 11 championships or whatever? So I agree. I do think, though, that where I would slightly disagree is, and I know Charles Barkley has said this on Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes' podcast, All the Smoke, in the past. Like, I do think that there are levels to this. And unfortunately, that is part of it. And you could ask Charles Barkley, you could ask Dan Marino, you could ask those guys who have some of the greatest players to ever lace up shoes in their sports, and they'll tell you, yeah, look, that is a blemish on my resume. It doesn't change the individual greatness, but they're the team. Yeah. These are team sports, so you want to achieve the ultimate goal. So I just think there's separate conversations: the individual greatness of a player, and then the resume and accomplishments of a player.
Well, this is just so meta too, because this is our entire industry. Is essentially this argument. This is the barbershop argument, like sports talk radio, sports themselves, getting fans engaged and interested, selling storylines, mano a mano. Like we were talking about Shohei and Tatis getting beaned earlier in the show, and then this.
Tatis.
This is all related, and so LeBron, by the way, watches a ton of sports, consumes a ton of sports, and likes to have debates about sports, which I've seen and participated in some in after he gets done with his media session. And I think that when asked this question, think about the context that he's in. He's sitting across from Steve Nash, who is one of the greatest players in sports history not to have won a ring. And I think that maybe even in the way that influenced LeBron's thinking at the time, well, of course, that doesn't mean that Steve Nash isn't a legendary, all-time great player. And if he were to have a couple of different teammates, maybe he does win that ring.
Or, by the way, if his teammates don't come off the bench or whatever when he gets pummeled into the scorers table in a series against the Spurs.
But I think the part where I would push back, and just thinking about the rings culture and why, because we're already getting rid of 95% of players, even to have the conversation about greatness. And when we're trying to, like, when we're doing our top 10 lists of all time anything, and we all do it because that's what we do in life. It's not just in sports, although sports is the one that has that has the least consequence to it. And when somebody asks me, so like I had the privilege of having 8 years of covering Kobe, now LeBron, same amount of time. Hopefully there will be that long run with Luka. And like when you're telling the whole story, how much were you able to lift your teammates, you as an individual player? How much were you able to lift them? And that's different in basketball than it is in football, than it is in hockey, than it is. So it's all part of it. It's all part of the discussion. But it does matter because those are, even though it's a team sport, how the individual is able to lift those around him. I think that to me is what separates the greatness. And if you haven't actually gotten over the hump, like we can go through the circumstances, but I'll just say this, in the circumstances with, say, Charles Barkley or with Steve Nash, and put on the other side LeBron and Kobe. Okay, well, what is the difference between those two? Why did two of them have the rings? To me, LeBron and Kobe were complete two-way players, okay, who could really impact the sport on both ends of the court. Kobe, 11-time all-time defense. LeBron, like almost the same. Nash, not quite the same impact defensively, even though he had just as much of an impact offensively. Barkley, not quite the same impact defensively. That is the separator. Same thing with Karl Malone or John Stockton. Like, they were great offensive players who could play some defense. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen played both sides of the court. So to me, that's the biggest reason why those guys were able to elevate their teams and ultimately win championships. And that's, I think, what some of the guys that have been great but haven't quite gotten over the hump, usually there's something that's just a little bit lacking, only compared to the top 1% of the guys.
And what I would agree with that. And what I would also add is that there's nuance to it, even in different sports. Like in basketball, one player can affect the game in a much larger way than in football.
Yeah, like if you're a cornerback or a defensive end, right?
But even a quarterback, because like I lived through. Right. I lived through Dan Marino. I saw it. Like the guy never had a running game. Like he never even had. So I'll tell you this: in his career, okay, at 17 years, he played with one first-round pick. Like, I'm sorry, one Hall of Famer in his entire career. One other Hall of Famer besides him.
I'm trying. Like, who's the best defensive player that was on those Dolphins teams ever?
I mean, there wasn't. Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas much later, but he was already like old by then. Like he was like 15 or 16 years in. Like, and those guys were rookies. So, like, that doesn't even count. Like, those guys are Hall of Fame guys, but they were complete. They barely overlap.
Same thing in baseball. Like, if you're
oh my God, in baseball for sure,
you're the best pitcher of your generation. Well, what if you don't have bats 6 through 9? So
exactly.
But basketball to me is the easiest discussion point for this, and I think that soccer is closer to that too, because this was a big thing with Messi. It's like, well, Pele and then Maradona.
The World Cup. The World Cup mattered for him to win.
They had won, and even that was unfair relative to the NBA because the World Cup's every 4 years. Right. So you only get like 3 chances. LeBron and Kobe both had nearly 20. And so, but Messi was able, because of his greatness, to lift his team as a complete player, and that's just harder to do in basketball. I'm sorry, harder to do in baseball and football than it is in soccer. And
I wonder if Martin is happy with this segment.
You know what? I'll find out. I'd
love to get Martin's.
So he's from
expertise.
Montreal, so he's a big hockey guy.
Yeah, well,
so
there you go.
I'll get his hockey thoughts and share them later.
All right, coming up next, we got 30 minutes nonstop. Okay, so we got some football we want to get back to. Want to get back to Dodgers-Padres. We'll get more into the NBA. Alden Gonzalez, ESPN MLB reporter, who's been at all these Dodger-Padre games, will stop by as well. So stick around. Trudell's in the house, 710 ESPN.
But first, know a high school senior who's a leader, scholar, and athlete? Nominate them for the ESPN LA All-Star Student presented by Rotolo Chevrolet. 5 winners, $500 scholarships, VIP treatment at our All-Star Friday event. Nominate your All-Star student today at ESPNLA.com. Thanks to Rotolo Chevrolet, California's #1 Chevy dealer in the West region for 13 years in a row. Come see what all the fun's about.
was a seismic shift in Lakerland felt all around the sports world.
Now, all of a sudden, we're one of the richest owners in all the NBA.
Mark Walter is now leading a brand new Lakers ownership group.
The guy that owned the Dodgers bought the Lakers and caught just about everybody by surprise is exceptionally exciting.
When the news broke, LA turned to 710 for the passion and pride of the purple and gold.
New era, same home.
The home of the Lakers is 710 ESPN.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News and World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway, it's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino, come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GGR 001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
And now we have a Game 7.
Sunday.
Coverage tips at 4 p.m. Who will hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy? Thunder, Pacers.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
The NBA Finals on 710 ESPN, thanks to Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. And Chumba Casino. And Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Sunday.
The NBA Finals on 710 ESPN.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California.
It's 5 p.m. in the Southland.
Turn it up, man.
Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Cappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Cap. And it's time for 30 minutes non-stop.
Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Cappy doing his thing, thanks to our friends at Real Father's Rights. Real Father's Rights, the father's rights attorney.
Visit RFR710.com or call 833-ESPN-710.
Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of non-stop Sedano and Cap starts now.
You ready for this? And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack!
Beep-ba-da-boop. Do-da-da-bop. Beep-ba-da-bop.
You know, the harmonizing is better when Cappy's here, too. because he's putting forth a lot of effort in, and I felt like your side, George, was fine, but not quite.
Oh no, he's better at it.
You know what I'm saying? And so then maybe I need to do more than just harmonize if it's me and you.
Oh,
maybe
I don't know.
need to
Well,
pull more
maybe.
weight.
Yeah, we maybe have to call an audible.
Martine did weigh in, by the way, on hockey greatness.
Okay.
Okay. So the best two players in the league, McDavid.
Like Connor McDavid is, one of the most skilled players in the history of the sport. I mean, he's much younger, obviously, still playing currently, but just lost 2 Stanley Cup Finals in a row.
And that's why it's relevant. And so you also mentioned Draisaitl. So they lost to Florida
Leon
twice.
Draisaitl is excellent. Yeah.
So, obviously in hockey, he's saying the goalie can be the main difference. No goals let in, makes it easier to win. And then, team grit as Florida won. I will say, in watching basically the entire Stanley Cup, Florida does have some real studs, too, though.
Oh no, they got and they got a bunch of dudes that you hate them unless they're on your team.
Yeah. So I mean, and then we were also discussing this. It's like now the USA would get credit, of course, to some extent for the Kachucks, but Dad just played in the U.S. and therefore raised his kids. So they're
correct.
They're Canadian to an extent.
They're Canadian Americans
by heritage, but they're Americans, and so you're getting some of that now. So you're getting a lot of that around the NHL. But yeah, point being, hockey would be more similar in this way, I think, to to a little closer to baseball and football than soccer and basketball.
Because the Kachucks grew up in St. Louis,
right?
With Jason Tatum.
Yeah, exactly.
They went to school together.
Yeah. So there's your hockey segment.
There it is. Hockey talk here on 710.
That's
What the puck?
What the puck?
All right. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We were hearing the music, the ESPN on NBA music. Play some music. Give me some music here, because I know Lindsay wants to ask us some questions.
Can I ask you a question
about the NBA Finals. Oh man, Aaron Judge just hit a bomb.
Did Mateo see it because he's watching that game?
No, he's upstairs.
Lindsay's got Lindsay and Funches have wrestling on.
I've got the.
We got that on too, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the MLB.
Got a lot of TVs.
The one that has all the different games on in one fell swoop, like the mix channel or whatever they call it. So I've got 6-8 games or whatever on right now on MLB. So it's just I just saw that when I looked up. But anyway.
We can do this for a couple minutes before we call Alden.
We talked to Alden and we talked some Dodgers-Padres, right?
All right, so heading into Sunday's NBA Finals, Game 7, which team is under more pressure to win?
Oh, that's easy. It's OKC. You don't win 68 games, have one, which is, I believe, the 7th best regular season record in the history of the sport, have the greatest point differential in the history of the sport. You're the number 1 seed 2 years in a row. I don't care how young you are. You need to win this championship.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's OKC, but I do think how young they are in their future does mitigate it a little bit. Not more so than the pressure that would be on for Indiana to have that switch sides. That they're not necessarily nobody's playing with house money once you get to the NBA Finals, because if you're that close, it's going to hurt if you lose. But OKC, as George, you've alluded to several times, we all thought they were going to be back forever before Harden left,
right?
And then they weren't. And so they do look like they're set up as well as any team moving forward. But 1 year is a long time in the NBA with with one injury can change it. We just saw that happen in Boston when it looked like they had a runway. And now all of a sudden maybe there's no Holiday, there's no Porzingis. So yeah, the short answer is OKC, and that's why.
All right. So do you guys expect a thriller in Game 7, or is it going to end up like a couple of these games have been in a blowout?
See, I think it'll be close. And then OKC will pull away. So I don't think it's like a blowout per se, where last night was a blowout. You just kind of knew OKC tried to make a run early in the third, cut it to 18. You're oh, maybe. And then Pacers smacked them back. I don't see that happening. I think we'll have mostly a close game for about 3+ quarters. And then I think OKC starts to pull away at home.
Yeah, the role players for Oklahoma City are certainly going to play better than they did in Game 6, and you would find it hard to imagine Indy's playing quite as well. But Game 7 seems kind of tailor-built for McConnell, and he has certainly had an impact in this series. I think his game will translate. I think Toppin can still play well. And these games are always such slugfests. I was at one of the all-time great Game 7s, of course, Lakers-Celtics 2010. And the tension of each possession, every single and not just the tension, George, but the pressure on every single jump shot that you're feeling, and the refs are going to let you be more physical. I do feel like that favors OKC, though, because think about Dort, and they're going to let him be physical. That makes it much more difficult for several different Pacers to get shots off.
Yeah.
And then Caruso's going to come in and be handsy, and Wallace is going to come in and be handsy. And I think that Indy can do it a little bit, too, with Nembhard and Nesmith, but that style favors OKC slightly, and the role players get the help. So I think it'll be tight, but OKC pulls away a little bit late.
All right, Linz, go to the Trudell for the next question first. I want him to answer first.
Will the MVP actually show up?
Yes, certainly. And I am just going to preempt this, George. You're there. I don't know if you're going to get a vote for this, but I'm ready to be pre-outraged if Shea doesn't get Finals MVP and OKC wins because Jaylen Williams scores 40 or something and Shea scores 32. Shea is the better player. He's been the more consistent player. The defense is completely orchestrated by Indy for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I am just already wanting to get away from Jaylen Brown one last year. It should have been Tatum. I just want to put that out into the ether. If OKC wins, it has to be Shea. I don't care if he has 6 points, which of course he never does, and Jay Will goes for 40+. It's got to be Shea.
Before you go to answer George, I got to ask you, Trudell. If the Pacers win right now, as of today, like who would be the MVP? Would it be McConnell?
No, it's Halliburton for very similar reasons to what I just said. Now, I understood the argument for Siakam and just disagreed with it. Halliburton is still the primary source of what makes Indy who they are. He is why they're so unselfish. He is why they're so united.
And the devil magic.
He gets them out in transition.
That Pascal Siakam video is awesome. Yeah.
It plays right into that whole theory. But, what do you think, George?
Look, I'm with Trudell. Look, I think that SGA will be the MVP. And I'm trying to remember, did I have a vote last year? I think I did. So if I do, I would, barring Jaylen Williams having like a 45-point game or 50-point game. And I mean, you got to see it play out a little bit. I think he's got like a puncher's chance to be the MVP, but I don't think it's like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum last year. So I think if Shea has a good game, has a Shea game, which, by the way, they're 6-0 in the playoffs after losing a game the previous game. And in those games, Shea is shooting 54% from the field, is averaging 34 points a game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. So, like, he's balling out, and a couple of steals. Like, he is balling out in those bounce-back games.
Shea is better than Jaylen Williams in every single statistical category in the postseason, except for rebounds, and it's 0.2. It's like 5.6 to 5.4. Right. And I think that this is, again, the major thing that gets discounted even if you just look at counting stats, which to me is a crime. Like, you have to obviously watch the games. You have to think about what the opposing defense is focused upon. And it's kind of similar to the Steph Curry, Andre Iguodala thing. It's like Iguodala had a good shooting series, and people argued that he defended LeBron, even though LeBron had averaged like a 35-point triple-double. The reason that Iguodala was getting open shots was because Steph Curry. And the reason that Williams is able to attack one-on-one on the weak side of the floor is because the Indy defense is overloaded to Shea, and he's still averaging in this series 30.5 points on 47% from the field and 9.7 free throw attempts, which is gigantic, by the way, 91% conversion rate. So it's just Williams has been awesome this series, but he is enabled to be awesome in part because he's playing with the best player on the floor.
All right, last one here. Which version of Halliburton will we get?
Ooh. Well, look, I think he only played 23 minutes the other night. And he's got a couple of days rest. I think they're going to attack him more. I was actually surprised, Mike, that they didn't attack him more right out of the gate. They did a few times, but I would just keep going right at him because he's not like some great defender. He's fine. I would say he's average. At times can be above average. But I would test him constantly in Game 7.
Yeah, I think you're on it. I mean, the ways that these teams have kind of counterpunched and gone back and forth with each other, though, I just think there are more factors that I could bring up in OKC's advantage, including this one. And it's just, I hate, though, just continuing to default to that position after all that Indy has shown us round after round after round after round. But I can't go past just what we've seen throughout the season from OKC, and so I guess we're going to kind of have to die with that pick. And if it's wrong, then only Cappy will be right, even if it's by accident.
Okay, well, there you go. There's insider, outsider. Lindsay, I believe we're going to have our friend Alden Gonzalez on here pretty soon, so just let us know when he's available. But in the interim, Mike, if you had to pick an X factor for Game 7, what would it be?
I think the easiest X factor in these types of games is sort of the role players. But going back to Game 7, Lakers-Celtics, like the role players, it wasn't an unexpected role player, really. It was really like the main guys still. It was Kobe, and it was Pau, and then it was Lamar, and then it was Ron Artest. Like, Artest hit the big three late, but, he was on the floor for the whole game. Like, he was a starter. He was a huge two-way wing. For the Celtics, it was their main guys. Rasheed Wallace stepped in for the injured Perkins, and I thought actually that was kind of a curveball that made it difficult for the Lakers. So it's easy to say that, the role players will play well in this one. I kind of think this is also the game where you extend the minutes more of the starters, and there isn't an opportunity for the role players to do as much. But neither of these teams really does that a ton. So that's why it's a unique game, George. And I kind of want to kick that idea back to you, because these coaches have not really fallen into that. Oh, I'm only going to play. I'm going to have 8, trust 7, and play 6 or whatever. Right, in a key game like that. Going back to, I don't know if that's Pat Riley or is that Larry Brown. Can't remember that.
They've leaned into their depth for sure.
So that's the thing, right? So do they? But now it's Game 7. It's the last game, And I think that But when you think about potentially increasing Shea's minutes, that's when he showed some fatigue so far in this series. And then they gave him those key rests in Game 4, which we thought was going to be the pivotal game for OKC to kind of swing the series back in their favor after Indy was able to win on the road in Game 1. So I wanted to say it's the bench players, but I don't think that it is. I think the swing ends up coming down to more like if OKC plays with that primal, ridiculously energetic defensive thrust that they didn't play with in Game 6, there's nothing that they've shown us suggests that they won't be able to break that out for Game 7. And so that's a roundabout way to getting to my answer. It's that OKC desperation on defense, the physicality, and I think that's what gets it done.
All right, Mike Trudell hanging out today for Cappy. Let's talk some baseball again. We spent a lot of time, particularly in that first hour, talking about this Dodgers-Padres series. And Alden Gonzalez, ESPN MLB reporter here, joining us, kind enough to take the time to join us. Alden, always a pleasure, buddy. Thank you for hanging out for a second with us. We were talking about this. Like, it feels like I happen to think this is really good for the sport. Like, I know that you don't want people getting beamed per se, but I think fans enjoy when guys, there's a level of physicality, there's a level of contentiousness amongst teams because it feels like guys care in a way that fans care. How have you kind of viewed through this lens that you've got this Dodgers-Padres series and just kind of the way that those two teams have conducted themselves when they've played each other over the last several years? I guess we don't have Alden.
Oh, he's there. It's just not. I don't know. Something's wrong with our phones.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll try some. Maybe
George,
you try again.
Hey, he's back. He's back.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Alden.
I was about to answer for you, Alden, but now you can do it yourself.
I keep coming in and out. I'm sorry. Jorge, I got the end of that question. It's and if I can go straight to it, it's been bubbling for a while now, and it just finally came to a head last night. And it's interesting because I thought that the Padres were going to leave Dodger Stadium without incident yesterday. Dave Roberts started to empty his bench. The game was 5-0. All the fans had filed out of the ballpark. And then all of a sudden, Fernando Tatis Jr. gets hit in the right hand, and there are fireworks. And it's almost as if, like, the universe wouldn't let the Padres leave without there being something before they have their last game until, like, August. And this is just, this has been bubbling at the surface since 2020, basically. And the Padres almost go out of their way to say that, they don't treat Dodgers games with any more importance than any other game during the regular season. And then you watch them play, and clearly they have a heightened sense of intensity against them. The Dodgers have tried to act as if they were above it, and they keep getting dragged in with the emotions. And, I mean, it's fun. It's great. And I can't wait until August, until they meet again, and I hate it that it's going to be so long until they do.
You know, we talked about just that all of this earlier, but the thing that fascinates me the most is Shohei's reaction to the second one. And I'm just trying to think if I've ever seen anything like that. And for somebody that's now been around Shohei for a little bit, does it not surprise you that he's like, not only is his talent above everything else, but apparently so is his mentality, and he's just this sort of super being that's above all of us, and he's just able to control everything physically and mentally? Like, what was that something that surprised, or if not, maybe you could give us an anecdote as to why it didn't?
So, like, I think you said that perfectly. It's almost as if, like, he exists on a different platform. Like, he's got an awareness that the rest of us don't have. And, like, I don't know, that did surprise me, because I've never seen him in that situation. I've never seen him in the middle of what could have been a really tense moment and being the subject of it. Keep in mind, Shohei Otani is going to pitch on Sunday. He took 100 miles per hour to his right shoulder blade, okay? Like, that's got to hurt. And, I mean, I think, and I don't know this for sure, but just common sense, 3-0 count. Robert Suarez is a right-hander, throws all the way across his body and gets Shohei Otani with a fastball right after Fernando Tatis Jr. gets hit, which is exactly what happened 2 nights earlier. Shohei Otani had every reason to be upset, and he didn't even rub his back, and just had a smile on his face and just waved everybody off. Like, I don't know. I don't want to put this. I don't want to make this bigger than it is. But it's just, I don't know that anybody else would have had a reaction like that. And yeah, I was surprised, because if Shohei Otani doesn't wave teammates off, everybody's coming out of the dugout. And I think at that point they're fighting. They didn't fight before. I feel like they're fighting at that point if Shohei doesn't do what he did.
Alden Gonzalez with us here. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. The way he handled that really de-escalated the situation. I don't think there's any doubt. Now, you tweeted recently about the ramifications. So Robert Suarez will be suspended 3 games. He's going to appeal. Mike Schilt and Dave Roberts are going to get 1 game, and they'll serve their suspensions tonight. So I'll ask you, in regards to Roberts, who will manage the team then tonight?
I believe it's the bench coach, and I shouldn't know this, but I believe it would be Danny Lehman, the bench coach, who was the one who managed yesterday. So that's sort of an easy call. And on the suspensions, it's kind of I was wondering if Dave would get a longer suspension, because he did make contact with Mike Schilt when he came out. He came running out, and it looked like, I don't know if he shoved him intentionally or if his momentum got him there, but he made contact with him. So I was wondering if he'd get more of a suspension. 3 games for Robert Suarez, I mean, that's what you would expect. I mean, warnings had been issued. It seemed pretty blatant that he was trying to hit Shohei. So honestly, I was not surprised by the suspensions. What I was surprised by is that Fernando Tatis Jr. is in the lineup. And I guess all those candles that Manny Machado told the Dodgers to light worked, because he's healthy.
Yeah.
But by the way, Alden, when I saw that quote, I said this on the show today. That's the most Latino thing you could have said if you were Manny Machado, is lighting the candles. Because I remember my abuela used to light candles all the time.
The Hialeah came out of him. All right, that's it. And I know the audience is probably not familiar with Hialeah, but that is a very common practice in Hialeah, where Manny Machado is from. And I will, if I could add just one thing here. Yeah. So,
by the way, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you. For the audience, this is what I'll translate. It's like Cuban East LA is the way I would describe it.
That's not bad.
I thought you were going to go straight to the throwing the zapatos, if that.
No.
Okay.
The chancletas. Chancletas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in the clubhouse, in the Padres clubhouse last night, and we're just standing there. We're waiting on Fernando Tatis Jr. to come out to talk to us. He's going to get X-rays. And Manny Machado pokes his head out the door, and he's like, "Do you guys need me tonight?" And let me just tell you, that never happens, okay? Manny never does that. And he did that because he had stuff that he wanted to say. And, man, he was on one last night. That was probably one of the best post-game scrums I have ever been a part of. It was magical.
The Dodger, just zooming out a little bit, anytime the Dodgers have come up this season, I've sort of been like, I mean, just look at the roster, look at the arms, the bullpen's starting to get healthy. Like, they're going to get more starters back. Like, it's all come down to Dodgers or the field. Like, that's how good that this team is on paper. Is there anything that you're looking out for that's going to raise your eyebrow in the next couple of months, presuming the Dodgers just continue to stay where they've stayed now? I think, what is it, like a 3.5 game lead in the division? Is there anything that you're looking out to, not necessarily as a concern, but just sort of that's going to allow your eyebrow to raise a little bit for this team?
Well, I'm gonna go even further than that. I would be concerned right now about the Dodgers pitching injuries, and I would not categorize this as Dodgers versus the field right now, because that's how injured they've been with their pitching staff. I mean, it was only until recently, and maybe it's still the case now. Yeah, they're still in first place, but
without
just
pitching.
barely. And they have 14 pitchers on the injured list, and their relievers lead the majors in innings pitched. And it's only June, and that spells trouble. And they've had some great news lately with their pitching health, because Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell are on the way back. It's no guarantee that they're going to stay healthy, though. And I will tell you that they can't win a World Series again with just 3 healthy starters in October. Right. Again, they're in good shape. They're in first place. But I don't have – the Mets are a really good team. The Phillies are really good. The Giants added Rafael Devers. They're a major threat. So, I think those teams are kind of on par with the Dodgers until they get their pitchers back. And I got to wait to see if Tyler Glasnow is going to be healthy, if Blake Snell are going to be healthy. They have to prove that, because the way their rotation looks right now, this is not sustainable. It's almost a miracle that they've been able to navigate such a brutal stretch and still be in first place.
Isn't that's kind of my point, though? It's not a miracle.
Well, but what he's saying is, correct me if I'm wrong. Hold on.
It's not a miracle.
Correct me when I'm wrong. Alden, you're just saying that they've been over reliant on their bullpen, and that could potentially come back to haunt them if these guys don't come back healthy sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you gotta have one or the other. And the thing that's always gonna the major benefit the Dodgers will always have is their lineup is deeper than any other. But you can't have a very short-handed rotation and also a bullpen that has had to shoulder so much of the load as the Dodgers have. That stuff eventually catches up to you. My only point is, look, if I had to pick one team to win the World Series, do I pick the Dodgers? I guess so. I just don't think it's as clear-cut as it was before, because this is now year 2 where they have shouldered a significant amount of injuries, and it's really tested their depth. And twice a week they have to roll out a bullpen game or call somebody up from AAA that you've never heard of to take down innings. And they've been finding a way, but eventually their starting rotation needs to be complete, or at least close to complete, because what it's been so far, it's not good. It's not the stuff that plays in October. So, again, Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, they've taken positive steps forward. They also have shoulder injuries, though. So those guys need to get healthy. And the reason and it's interesting, though, because I was just like you guys. At the start of the year, everybody having those conversations about the Dodgers setting the regular season wins record, I was right there with everybody, because I thought this team was unbeatable. I did not have them suffering as many pitcher injuries as they have yet again. And that's a very real thing that we have to be mindful of.
For sure. It's just the indications are that they're going to be getting these arms back, right? You just mentioned kind of the key names, and then also Shohei ramping up, and we're going to see if he's able to get back to that full level. And but I mean, that kind of brings us back. We started with Shohei and everything off the field. Anything else about how his arm feels a couple days later, and what the plan is for the next pitch count and all that?
So far, he's fine. I will say that people need to keep in mind that what he's doing right now is basically just a continuation of his rehab. He decided that it was too much of a toll on his body to do these sim games before the game, cool down, then ramp back up to then DH later that night. So he told the Dodgers, I'd rather just do this at the same time. Weird as that sounds. And the Dodgers are totally fine, because he counts as an extra pitcher, basically. It's like Brandon Gomes, the general manager, called it 3 innings, right? Mm-hmm. It's not going to burn anybody else. You're not removing anybody else from the roster to add him. Having said that, the plan for Shohei initially for being back in the rotation was late July, August. And it's still trending in that way, in the sense of that's when he's going to be built up enough to take on something close to a starter's workload, be it 4 innings, 5 innings, something like that. So in the meantime, they're going to play this super slow. So, like, don't be surprised if Shohei Otani throws 1 inning again on Sunday against the Nationals. It might be 2. It could be just 1. But they are going to still slow play this. Like, people are talking about how the timeline maybe got expedited because he's back in the rotation now sooner than we thought, but not necessarily. Like, they're still going to take this super slow with him because it's such a fragile thing, and, like, the endurance that's required to be a two-way player, especially when you haven't been that close to 2 years, like, that's something that they're going to be very mindful of.
Alden Gonzalez does a phenomenal job covering Major League Baseball for us here at ESPN. Alden, thanks for the time, brother. Appreciate you.
No problem, guys. Take care.
See ya. There you go. Feisty Trudell. I love it.
You thought that was feisty?
I mean, a little tiny bit, but I liked it.
It's got, you know what though, I totally relate to the way that Alden was describing it, because like when I'm if you had me on as like Lakers reporter Mike Trudell, right, then I would certainly speak in like that's how the team would describe it, right? Yeah. Like you can't say the way that I say. It's easy for me to come in and say, I mean, come on, man, look at the roster. Like the pitchers are coming back, they're the best. Like you don't do that when you're actually doing your job as a great
Well, and I would also add that baseball is a little weird that way. Like it, I've always said to people, like I made the joke, right? It's just baseball, because strange things happen, and the best team doesn't always win.
No, but this goes back. I've told this story to you before, but like when I got the Laker job, it was after the Lakers lost to Boston in the finals in 2008. And so me coming from Minnesota, the team won 20 games. I'm coming in and I'm like, you guys have the best team in the league. Like you have the best roster. You're getting Bynum and Ariza back. They both missed that finals. You know, Kobe is in his prime and has the look of just wanting to kill the entire league on his eyes from the start. If they want like this. If there isn't a major injury, this team is going to win the title this year. And then, so it's easy, I think, to come in from afar and that's where I would be tied to this Dodger team, just looking at the depth of the talent and saying, yeah you're going to get these arms back. That's my only point. Of course, they have to prove it. They have to go through the season. It's only June 20th. So I just think like end of the day, we're all picking the Dodgers to win if we have to pick one team.
Oh, yeah, look, I would agree with that. But, yeah, once you get into a short series, the weirdness of baseball is that you play 162, you play this marathon, and then you're playing a series of sprints.
And the best team definitely does not always win in baseball.
Yeah, so that's the crazy part. I mean, hell, we were talking earlier about how the Padres beat him in 2022, and we thought Dave Roberts was going to get fired probably.
Yeah, in the Dodgers, they've had the best team for more than two
a long
the last
time.
10 years.
Yeah, they've probably to your point, you can make the case that in the last decade they've had the best team easily 6 or 7 times.
But that's the part where I give them credit though. Like what you can control is having the best roster going into a postseason. You can't control how many arms are healthy, right? You can't control if another team gets hot and goes on a crazy run at the right time. But like that's what you want as a fan, of which I am of the Dodgers. Like you just want to be in that position where you feel pretty comfortable going in, and then if you don't end up winning, like, stuff happens in sports.
You mentioned earlier, Mike, your boy Martin, big hockey guy. Yeah. Well, you know who else is big hockey guys or who are big hockey guys? My guys at Cadillac of Beverly Hills.
Oh,
okay,
no doubt.
And maybe right? Martin needs a new Cadillac, and I got people I can connect him with, is what I'm saying.
I mean, he drives a golf cart a lot around the beach town, but I think he could use a caddy if he come downtown and stuff.
I mean, listen, there you go. Everybody could use a caddy. That's what I mean? Because it's like a sign of excellence.
Don't they have a bunch of electric caddies now?
Oh man, they got tons of EVs.
Okay, because that's what because I'm an EV guy.
I know, and we're excited to announce here, of course, our brand new partnership with our friends of Cadillac of Beverly Hills. The nicest dealership in America. Like, seriously, if you haven't gone down there on Wilshire and you haven't seen this place, you're going to walk in there and be like, holy moly, this place is insane. Okay? And we know Cadillac. But when was the last time you driven one? I was talking about this not too long ago. I rented one, actually. I sat in one yesterday as an Uber ride yesterday, an Escalade. And this new lineup of Cadillac EVs, as I just mentioned to Mike, sedans, SUVs, they absolutely define luxury at the top of its game. And look, when you got a Cadillac, you know you've made it, Okay, that's basically the sign of excellence and achievement for sure. I remember my dad felt that way back in the 80s when he got his first Cadillac for sure. And you can find them all these Cadillacs at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. So go in, say hello to Tony and the crew, an incredible team there at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out their beautiful showroom that I just mentioned, the nicest showroom in America, 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And make sure you check it out on the web. You can see all the vehicles and everything you want to see before you even head out there at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
We told you it was going to be the biggest offseason in Lakers history.
Genie's still going to run the team, and this is massive.
New ownership, the draft, free agency, summer league, and the tip-off of the season with the King and Luka. Every moment of coverage of the Lakers offseason on 710. Powered by Pro Baller. Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers. And your home of Lakers basketball in the Southland is 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway. It's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino. Come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GGR 0011291. GAR 0011292. PSIS license number 1358.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood, carpet, and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
The biggest event of the summer is coming to Honda Center. Saturday, June 28th. Most Valuable Promotions presents global boxing star Jake Paul on his path to becoming world champion. Taking on Mexico's former world champion, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. In the co-main event, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez defends his world titles against Cuba's knockout artist, Yuniel Dorticos. Former boxing and UFC champ Holly Holm returns live from the Honda Center on Saturday, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Collectors, Front Card Show is back at the Pasadena Convention Center on June 21st and 22nd. Biggest show ever. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. More than 500 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Card Show, Pasadena Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, June 21st and 22nd, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN. It's 6:30 p.m. Big deal or no deal. Take it away, Sedano.
All right, Lindsay, you take it away.
It's 5:30, by the way, Christopher. Get it right or pay the price.
Yeah, exactly. Got to change that imaging, bro. What have you been doing lately?
What's the price, Lindsay? Just curious.
It's an excellent point. What is the price?
I don't know. I guess I would have to think about it.
But you know what? You better think about it, Morales.
Exactly. He's not listening. He's getting his couples massage right now.
You better think
about it. He is, as he should, to be honest.
He should.
The
He
guy's
needs to
super
relax.
stressed out. You know, he almost died.
He did?
Yeah.
Well, last time I saw him, I nudged him, so he knows how I feel about him.
All right, there you go. All right, Linz, go ahead.
It's like a bunny.
He came back from the dead.
All right, so
Is it a horse?
What?
Sorry, I was just that made me think of.
You know, that was actually for DeMar Hamlin when
Yes,
he didn't
it
win
was.
Comeback Player of the Year, but it's also applicable
works,
to Christopher,
yes.
is what I would say. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so before I get to the Will Smith song, actually, let's do that one first because I want to make sure you guys hear it. So, Will Smith dropped a new junt, as Cappy would say, and it's called "I Like Pretty Girls," and it's got a weird video too. So let's just play some of it because I want to get your opinion.
I get you anything you think of. I like BBLs, that stand for bad, bad blink up. I've been in the club all night in the section. Picture perfect, I swear you perfection. I like you, and you. It don't matter about your complexion. There's not a lot of women not pretty to me. I mean, she pretty to me. And I ain't talking about just the pretty you see. But the pretty I like you be. Pretty girls. I love pretty girls.
Video's pretty bad.
Listen, this song is terrible, is what I would say.
Trudell?
And this from this is a man that at one time made some of the most memorable music around. Okay, at many different stages of his life, but this is
Getting jiggy.
awful.
Yeah, Men in Black, Wild Wild West.
I mean, this is a
Bangers
terrible song. Like, whoever told him this was a good idea, bad job by you.
I want to know what the music aficionado over there says.
Well, I've never really loved Will Smith.
Oh, geez, here
rapper.
we go.
I always resented the fact, kind of like Eminem, I alluded to this earlier, that he wouldn't swear. I didn't think it was as cool to buy a CD that didn't have the parental advisory
you're the
thing on it.
Guys.
You know what I mean? Because this is, again, a white kid from the Minnesota suburbs. Like, you want to feel like you're doing something when you're going to purchase something. I don't want to go buy early Will Smith. I did love Fresh Prince though, and George is right. Like, some of his early stuff was great.
But Summertime is like a jam.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
All-time jam.
But that's so to fast forward to this current song, what it sounds like.
Which he hasn't come out with a new song in 20 years, so.
Well, and this sounds like something that was specifically crafted and dropped to try and be like one of the summer songs, right? And something in the club where the girls
and it's bad.
can
But
throw
even
their
the
hands up to.
even the track it's on is
what if it was someone else singing it or doing?
No, the track is trash.
I mean,
I've loved EDM for 25, 30 years. Okay, so I know what a good track sounds like when you're trying to do an EDM beat.
Would you
that's
say
not it.
Would you say you're an EDM expert?
Yes, I would say that, actually.
An expert, okay.
Yeah.
I am not. I was.
But you're a general overall music aficionado.
I I think we all love music, right? I don't.
I know, but
don't
just the way you
claim to
speak
be,
of it, you know, I feel like you got like a little bit up on us.
I'll tell you. No, I'll tell you what I think. If you ask me if I like a song, I'll tell you my honest opinion. This one I don't like. I do, but I will defer to the self-appointed expert on EDM. I do think we should have Michael Thompson weigh in though, because Michael is who put me on some early EDM. And when I say put me on it, just that Funches would sometimes play it on the show, but I would tell it what the track that Michael told me was called. I haven't listened to much of it on my own. George, when we're in Vegas together in about a month, do you like? Cause I'm not a big club guy, but is that's?
Do you want to go to Marquee? I can make that happen if you want to go.
I don't want to go other than to see, like, I want to sort of see
Marquee.
you in the element of hearing EDM and like Elliot, like this is a good one. Even we wouldn't be able to hear each other, but I would kind of just see. I would like to see how you move in the club.
Well, let's see who's playing.
You
If
know what I
anybody's playing, anybody good is playing at any of these places while we're there.
But obviously, I'm not waiting in line though. You can handle.
No.
that,
If
right?
we go,
out
we get taken care of.
That's where all the good people play.
I'm jealous. I want to go.
Yeah. So
well, Dre's is an after-hour club.
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. I'm too old.
You're
for
going to
that
Marquee.
crap. Yeah.
But
I'm too old for Dre's.
I'm out on that song though. Apology. And it's also it's just a little strange just thinking about like the whole girls thing and the Jada and like the whole So I don't know. It's
Like,
it's a
he's
lot.
still technically married, right?
But that doesn't mean that you can't. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot.
I just want to know who he's like. Who's the audience that he is targeting with that song?
Oh my God! You know who's going to be in Vegas
Calvin
in July? Deadmau5.
Deadmau5.
Oh, yeah,
We
he's
need
usually
Cappy
there.
to go for this.
I'm trying to get him to go because I'm trying to plan a
the,
trip there around the same time.
Are the Eagles on yet? Because then
No, they're not back till August.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Lil Wayne's going to be there.
Will the
Weezy's
Eagles
gonna
still be
be
there in
Cappy's
October?
boy Marshmello is also going to be at Encore Beach.
TJ Marshmallow.
Weezy's
He calls
gonna
him
be
Marshmallow
there.
Head for whatever reason.
Lil Tanucci on July 13th.
David Guetta at Live, because there's a Live in
he's
Las
good.
Vegas now at
He's
the Fountain
good.
Blue.
Yeah,
You want?
David Guetta's got
You know,
some-
Trudeau, we could do David Guetta. That's like
I know some
EDM poppy.
David Guetta
you know,
and
it's
like
good.
Usher and like
You'll
Justin
know
Bieber's
all
been
the
on some of that.
You'll know all the David Guetta songs.
No, I do.
Like,
I've listened to that. Yeah, I've listened to all that whole album. He did like a whole album with a bunch of pop stars and stuff.
we could go. We can go Live.
I'll okay. Hold on. If I can get us into Carbone before, which I failed last year, that would be a good. Although then we'd be pretty full. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
When are you guys going for Summer League?
that dinner.
When are you guys going for Summer League?
Well, that's the thing. I will be going earlier, but hopefully I'll overlap. I'll try to make my stay so that I can.
The Backstreet Boys will be at the Sphere.
Oh.
Now,
what days are those?
You
I
would
do
go
like
to
July
that.
11,
Boys.
12.
You would go to that, wouldn't you, Trudeau?
I don't know that I would go to it, but I do. I will speak nothing but positively about the Backstreet Boys. I used to work at a daycare center when I would in my summers home.
July and August.
Or sorry, my high school summers, and I would play for the little kids, I would have like the Millennium, the Backstreet Boys CD, and they loved it. And then that Britney and NSYNC were like the three that all the little kids would like.
Desire.
This is going to be a thing. People are definitely going to Backstreet Boys during Summer League for sure.
You know, I will say, Lindsay, when that a lot of the arenas around the league will do sing-alongs and such. Like they'll do it at Madison Square Garden, like during timeouts, right? And this is one of the songs that gets the biggest responses.
It's
like,
so hard not to sing it. It's hard not to sing along.
It really is. This and then there are a couple like great early NSYNC songs too, like Bye 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 is another one, right? In this mix, but no, this is a great jam. I can sing the whole thing, and I have nothing but good things to say about Backstreet. Will I go to the show? Probably not, but I'm going to hold out for the Eagles in October for Lakers preseason.
Okay.
Am I your fire? Anyway, before they clip that, George, what else is
already
happening?
being clipped.
Okay, it's too late.
Well, I'm done with Big Deal or No Deal, but we're reacting to one of the biggest moments in franchise history for the Lakers. We have your dose of what's next, thanks to Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers. Just wanted to get that in.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, we got Dealer's Choice up next. Mike, do you have a Dealer's Choice, or do you want me to go Dealer's Choice?
Well, you know what? Because it probably would have been one of mine, why don't we use the topic that you teased earlier?
Oh, the soccer one. Yeah, I do want to ask you about the FIFA Club
game.
World Cup. Yeah, because I feel like this is kind of floundering a little bit. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll get better as time goes by here during this tournament. But all right, let's do Dealer's Choice up next. Trudell's in the house for Cappy 710 ESPN.
I showed up at the hospital and was told I couldn't see my children. Then I showed up in court and was told they may not be mine. Then I was accused of anything and everything. Sexual assault, domestic violence, substance abuse. You name it, I heard it. I was forced to go long periods of time without seeing my children. That experience of being wrongfully treated ignited something in me. I can look at a father and honestly tell him, I know how he is feeling. I've been there. At Real Fathers' Rights, we care about your family, your livelihood, and your future.
I'm Doug Hopkins.
And I'm Damon Lyons.
And we want to buy your house.
After 30 years and more than 20,000 transactions, Seller's Advantage knows how to get you more for your home.
No agent fees, no commissions, just an as-is cash offer.
Call Seller's Advantage or visit sellersadvantage.com.
In tax debt, you don't have to fear the IRS another day. TRA has a proven 3-step tax resolution process, plus they're experts at working with special programs available from the IRS to help taxpayers get back on track. Easy to see why they have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you owe money to the IRS and feel trapped, don't lose hope. Tax relief advocates could reduce or even eliminate your debt. End your tax nightmare today. Simply visit TRA.com or call 800-575-1482. That's 800-575-1482. Again, 800-575-1482.
4th of July savings start now at Carden Alleyway Hyundai. Lease a brand new Hyundai Elantra SCL Sport for just $219 a month for 36 months with only $34.99 due at signing. Drive with confidence backed by America's best warranty, 10 years or 100,000 miles, and Hyundai's exclusive owner assurance program. Visit us off the 91 freeway or schedule your test drive now at CardenAlleyWayHyundai.com.
At SU 944151, $34.99 due at signing plus tax. License, $85 doc fee and registration. No security deposit. 10,000 miles per year. Offer expires 7/7/2025.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Final segment of the show. I'm actually looking up Backstreet Boys tickets here for the Sphere while I'll be in Vegas. Got to make that happen. Thanks to everyone who tuned in today on YouTube, on the app, listening on the good old AM. Great job, Mike, filling in for Cappy. We got Dealer's Choice next, Jack. I probably rushed that a little bit. I didn't have to. It's been, had a little out of practice.
No, you've been flying a lot.
Yeah, dude, I slept nothing yesterday. I slept more on the plane than I think I did in the hotel room last night.
So you'd think that with my lifestyle and profession, sleeping on planes would be key, but I can't sleep on planes. So
well, you know how I do it? I take like a half a Dramamine, and then it knocks me out for a little bit because I'm kind of a lightweight when it comes to that thing.
For whatever reason. See, I've never taken that before.
Yeah, Dramamine is like the anti-nausea medicine.
I have to take that when I ride in Ubers. I always get car sick.
Well, yeah, but you got to be careful. I mean, the thing is that I take the drowsy one though, like the full drowsy one on the plane. But yeah, on Ubers too, I get sick. I can't look at my phone in an Uber.
Yeah,
really?
They have a new feature though, where it has those.
Nah,
little
it
dots.
doesn't help. I tried. You told me about it. It doesn't help that
It helped a little tiny bit, but then I got used to it.
See, when I was growing up, my parents always, insisted is too strong, but it was strongly suggested that we read while in the car. So I've always just done that. So the nausea or the kind of stuff when I'm in the car. Yeah.
Good for you, Mike.
I guess I feel bad if you do. It kind of sounds like it kind of sucks.
No, it does suck, dude.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah, I feel bad.
For sure. All right. So Dealer's Choice. Michael, I wanted to talk to you about the FIFA Club World Cup. So I was watching some of these games, and I know that, for example, the Chelsea manager was complaining about the lack of atmosphere, right? And how they were playing in a stadium that holds 70,000 people, and it was like less than 30, and it just was something he was not happy about. And it feels like some of these matches are not living up to the billing, not because it's not cool to watch these teams face off against each other, because we've never had anything like this, and I get it that it's the first foray into this, but it just feels like it's falling a little flat in what's being deemed a quote unquote made up tournament.
So, as you know, I love soccer, played soccer and follow soccer and everything, but mostly English Premier League, but I watch a little bit of everything.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, before you continue, I need to make sure that people know that Dealer's Choice is brought to you by Sellers Advantage. Want to sell your house before you call an agent? Call Sellers Advantage. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer. No repairs needed. They'll make selling easy. Call them at 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer, or visit sellersadvantage.com.
So I'll be concise with this. The Club World Cup sucks. It's terrible.
Wow.
It's completely manufactured out of nothing for the clubs to try and make more money. It is added at the end of a brutal season for all the clubs except for MLS. It's right in the middle of MLS, but all the other clubs worldwide just got through this ridiculous season, especially the teams like Chelsea, like Real Madrid that also play in the Champions League. So these players are exhausted. This is usually the one time to go on vacation before many of them report to their national teams. And now not only do they have to play more, and I get it, there's financial incentives to it, so that's how they got them to do it, but people were ripping the NBA Cup, being like, oh, how could you ask the players to do more? It's not extra games. It's one extra game. The rest of the games count in the regular season. This counts for nothing. So they're creating a trophy out of nowhere. And the teams like Flamengo, who's a Brazilian team, just beat Chelsea 3-1. It's great for them because they get to play one of the big dogs. They're excited. But Chelsea's like, what? And then they got to play a team from New Zealand. They got to play a team from Japan. Again, exciting for those teams. But for the big clubs, just a total cynical money grab. And I have actually, George, not watched it. I am kind of protesting it, assuming that the players aren't really going to be able to play that hard. In the atmosphere that Chelsea coach said, that's also true. Why would there be a good atmosphere? They're not really playing for anything. Anyway, that's my soccer rant.
Look at that.
Does that surprise you? Do you think I was going to be in on it?
Yeah, I thought you'd at least give it a shot, but I'm with you. It just feels like hollow, the whole thing. You know?
It is, and it's just the way that it all came about too. It's like, oh, soccer fans globally will watch anything, and like I guess to an extent that's probably true, but it's these players have much more on their plate than NBA or NFL or like Major League Baseball is a little different because of the 162. But to be able to have another thing in there that is supposed to matter in soccer when we already have cups and qualifying, and it's just too much, buddy.
Look at that.
Don't
yeah,
like
soccer. Back up.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Martine?
All right, we're done here. Michael, excellent work as always. Thank you for sitting in on a Friday. I appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Great job. Brian Cohen sitting in for DeAndre.
Double duty today for Brian.
Yes, sir. Lindsay, excellent work. Funchy, excellent work. Anthony and the boys in the back on the social team, the circle, even you YouTube shenanigan types. You guys all have a great weekend, except Christopher and Cappy. You guys